Hello, and welcome to the Strickland's live stream of free agency. Here we are, an hour before free agency starts at 6 p.m. I'm your host, I guess, for this. I'm Shwin, and I'm joined by such a great cast of characters that we've assembled. First, we have the venerable Sam, that is at FBL underscore Sam on Twitter. He's done for the year. Summer vacation is here. So, Sam, how are you doing?
Well rested. Just had a nice meal too, so I'm ready to go for free agency.
Here we go. Great to hear. And also, we are joined by Collin Loring, aka Comrade. Collin, how are you doing on Sunday evening?
It's another day in paradise. Kevin Knox is employed by an NBA team.
Technically, he's not employed by the NBA team yet.
Never mind. Regardless, he's being considered, and I have to appreciate that personally.
Well, he is his seventh year since he's been drafted, and Kevin Knox, if you have not heard yet, will be he will be in summer league with the Golden State Warriors. Maybe he can replace Klay Thompson for them. That would be huge. Right?
The missing link, my column.
Yep.
Oh man.
Even though free agency starts in an hour, it seems that somehow teams are able to agree and talk and figure out things beforehand, including our beautiful New York Knicks. But a few things happened, even unrelated to free agency, really. The Detroit Pistons hired JB Bickerstaff today to be their head coach. I don't know. I think people were like, I saw people shitting on it. I think it's fine. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
That's a good step in the right direction for the Pistons. They have a coach that's not a complete joke. He's an actual competent NBA coach. He was able to get something out of those Cavaliers for those years, even throughout all the injuries that they suffered through those various iterations. So, I mean, hey, it's a guy that wants to be there. I mean, they didn't have to convince him like Monty Williams to like Monty Williams had to be convinced not to like stay on his couch all day. But yeah, it's a good move for the Pistons, and maybe they'll look somewhat competent next year.
Would be nice.
I don't know. I think the problem with the Pistons is maybe not entirely on the coaching staff. I don't know. It probably sounds like a hot take, but I thought they were fine when they hired Monty. I think he progressively gave us reasons to think that he may not be an NBA caliber coach, but JB, I would
That's
like
a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, I think JB, similarly coming off strong playoff runs with a contender, I think he's got at least he'll have a voice in the locker room, and he's got young guys to work with, and also Troy Weaver isn't bringing him 5 new centers every year, so hopefully it works for him. But I think good guy, good coach, he should be fine.
Yeah. I have no real strong. I thought he was an annoying coach when he was on the fucking Cavs, and it is what it is. But he might just be a coach who's like good for this part of your team building, and not good for like the once you're actually good and have expectations part of it. And yeah, like I think their biggest problem right now is this roster is just doesn't make much sense. They don't have a lot of shooting. They don't really know yet who they're building around. Or maybe it's Cade, but is Cade, how good is he? I don't know. They have a lot to figure out. So Bickerstaff's done it before. Maybe he'll do a good job again in Detroit. It's kind of weird how it all unfolded, which that part of it is strange. Like I don't know. Was it even reported that he interviewed? I don't remember.
The last thing that we heard about the Pistons was that Borrego dropped out of the consideration. Like he just didn't want the job anymore, which is understandable because the Pistons, no one knows what's going on with their team. I mean, they just got their new GM, and it's just like, I guess they're going to figure out what they're going to do with all this cap space now.
Yeah. I don't know. They have a bunch of cap space, and that's what it is. But
I thought my favorite part of that announcement today was people going like, okay, so Dwayne Casey got fired, and then he got hired by the Pistons. Monty Williams got fired, and then he got hired by the Pistons. Now, JB Bickerstaff has been fired and hired by the Pistons. Where do you people think that coaches come from? Like, a majority of the time, they have past experience, and sometimes that doesn't work out.
Yeah. NBA coaching is a consistent carousel, and then sometimes there's these new guys that get their names tossed in the ring, but they're usually guys that have been in the NBA coaching circles, regardless, as assistants or whatever it may be. So, I mean, it's one big pool of candidates all the time.
Our viewers may not know this, but Tom Thibodeau was actually once fired. That was a thing that happened. He's
twice fired.
Twice. He's turned out pretty good for us. Not saying that's going to happen for the Pistons, but I thought that was a funny narrative circling the interwebs today.
As it goes.
Yep. So the other big piece of news, and probably more important than JB Bickerstaff being hired by the Pistons, is that I think Woj is reporting or something that Paul George will
Chris
be.
Haynes.
I know Chris Haynes reported it, but I think Paul George is, or at least he has been saying it on TV or something, that Paul George is probably going to be signing with the Sixers. Not sure, but I'll have to look into that. Either way, yeah, Chris Haynes did say that, at least what he said, that Philadelphia is more optimistic. And then I've seen another report from Anil Gogna that is, let me get his Twitter at.
It would be so Paul George for him to announce it
Anil,
on like a podcast or something today.
Yeah, Anil Gogna, NBA. He reported that Paul George has already informed the Clippers that he won't be returning. So we'll see what it is. If he leaves, it seems like then it would be Philly. But, we still have 51 minutes before we can officially know, because nobody can talk until then.
Yeah, we'll start seeing shit on like 550 that are like, hey, these players, they look like they're going here and there. But it's going to be very interesting to see what domino effects this leads to, because we got the whole KCP, Klay Thompson, DeRozan of it all, Harden. Those names are still, they've been reported to like multiple teams at the very least. So it's going to be very interesting to see how things shake out between all these wings, because it's a wing heavy class this year. And teams are hungry for wings.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead, Shwin.
No, go ahead.
I appreciate something you brought up too, that we got the announcement last night that he was going to have meetings with 3 different teams. It really took me back to like 2015, like all over again, like how we used to do free agency. And I'm thinking about Blake Griffin and the Clippers montage, that they showed him and then subsequently traded him like 4 months later. But we need more of that in free agency. As long as it's not the Knicks, I need all the dramatics.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. The Knicks have their own fish to fry with Isaiah Hartenstein, who obviously is, going to be a free agent here in 51 minutes. He has not agreed, or 49 minutes now. He has not agreed to any. He hasn't, come to terms on a new agreement or anything that yet that we've heard of. The Knicks should very likely be hard capped at the second apron. We will see if that is ultimately how they structure the Mikal Bridges deal to make that work. But yeah, I mean, they're capped on what they can offer him. Obviously, there are teams with oceans of cap space that could offer him much more. If that's the case and he leaves, they'll have to figure out what to do. I think that would be a pretty big loss, and I would probably feel pretty different about the Mikal Bridges trade if that happened, because I think that as much as I like Mitch, and I do think Mitch is like a starting caliber center, I don't think he's the center that maximizes the other talent on this roster at that position the way Hartenstein could. Obviously still super useful, and I think the Knicks would still be really good. But I don't know that you're winning a championship with Mitchell Robinson, somebody they pick up, let's say Goga Batadze, and the kid they drafted at 58, Ariel Hukporty, as your center platoon. I don't know that, yeah, and I think there's definitely an argument for like, well, if that happens, then Tibbs should, and really, I mean, he should do it anyway, but be leaning into some looks with Randall and OG at the 4 and 5. That's obviously been something he's been reticent to do throughout his time as a coach. So it opens up a whole other kind of can of worms or possibilities, depending on how you look at it. World of possibilities. Again, depending on your perspective. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty big. Obviously, the Knicks have made more or less their all-in move. And yeah, it would suck to lose your starting center a lot. Correct.
Yeah, I mean, he as like you said, as much as we love Mitch and whatnot and what he brings to the team, iHart, you saw what he brought in terms of in the playoffs with the passing, the things you're able to do with him on short rolls and stuff like that. This it's just stuff that Mitch just can't do right now, and probably will never end up doing, because I mean, this is what he is as a center. That was the benefit and the joy of having both him and Mitch here, is having those two different looks at center that you can throw at teams on offense and on defense. So it's going to be very disappointing to lose iHart. So hopefully the team can retain him, but it looks like there's going to be a lot of offers that exceed ours. So
I mean, I think the main thing with Mitch is like, if you told me Mitch was going to be healthy, and I'd be like, okay, well, not ideal, not perfect, but I'd still feel pretty. Like, I'd still be like, all right, well, the Knicks are still definitely a contender. And look, the Knicks are probably still a contender, even if they lose iHart. But I don't think I think they still have work to do. Whereas if iHart resigns, I kind of think it's like, let's roll. Like, that's our team, and I'm pretty happy with every aspect of it. But yeah, again, look, with Mitch, it's just that the health thing is just really scary. And like, yeah, you're right. He doesn't have, you can't put the ball in his hands offensively and trust him to kind of capitalize on an advantage unless it's literally just, lob dunk or catch the ball at the rim and go up and dunk. And even then his hands aren't great sometimes. So like, there's just a lot that you lose in terms of like your ability to run half court offense. I think if he's your starting center versus Hartenstein, he's obviously still really good. So it's not like you're starting some bum. Yeah. You're not starting some bum, but there is a difference. And I think that difference matters because you're trying to win a championship. You're not just trying to be good anymore. So, again, we'll see. We'll have to wait. Obviously, we're not going to find out right this second anyway, one way or another. So,
is there any way that this is the year for Mitchell Robinson? I mean, maybe he's in the gym all summer. Maybe there's a jumper when he comes back. Maybe he's motivated by his promotion to full-time starting center. If we lose Hartenstein, I mean, I'm not saying Brook Lopez, but
I don't know how they would even like. The problem is when you start talking about, you have to trade out rotation pieces. So like, it's not really easy. I mean, it's pretty much it's painful. Like, you're going from, oh, we can retain Hartenstein, and literally this is our team, to, well, who would we trade out to make salaries to get player X? And that's obviously just a totally different equation. Personally, I don't think they would do like a Brook Lopez trade. I played around with that yesterday. You just have to give up pieces, and the math with the Bucks, given their fucking difficulties, is its own thing. So yeah.
Speaking of the Bucks fans are very excited about the possibility of getting Chris Dunn. So that tells you the state of their fan base right now and their franchise. So it's looking grim in a lot of the other teams in the East. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a lot of Atlantic Division battles that decide the top of the East this year. If all the reports about the Sixers, especially if they land both Paul George and KCP, that is a formidable, at least defensive wing duo tandem. So,
I mean, they're just kind of emptying the cupboard for Paul George, though. And then he's supposed to recruit guys. Is that the shtick?
They would still have $13 million left in cap space if they max Paul George, and then they'd also have an $8 million room exception. So what that gets you, I couldn't tell you.
Not
Yeah.
much in today's NBA, especially with these
Yeah.
apron rules.
Because
So-
today's NBA and with the way that their roster is shaped, like you would literally have to use the 13 million in cap space on like one guy. Like it would have to be a player
One
like
quality guy.
exactly, and then the 8 million elsewhere, and then you've got minimums.
And we've seen that the model of having a bunch of minimums is not something that works a bunch. Axe Phoenix.
it is never, yeah. It is rarely. Even the Warriors have never really used the minimum when they were at the top of the league. Like they never were as they weren't successful with it at least.
Yeah, I mean they ended up playing like what 6-7 guys deep in those playoff runs because like
Exactly.
the rest of the bench is like Nick Young and Jordan Bell. It's like good luck.
I don't think that the 76ers of all people are going to be the team to break that, and especially if I walk into a meeting and my negotiator or the person I'm meeting with is Paul George. I don't know. I don't see him selling me on anything, but stranger things have happened.
Someone said never underestimate the stupidity of Daryl Morey.
Literally.
Comments.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I look. I didn't like the plan. The plan was clear cap space, and we'll be able to do stuff in free agency. And okay, well, like, I don't necessarily like the plan.
It's always a good plan in theory.
I don't even think it's a good plan in theory. I think it's a terrible plan in theory when you have a 30-year-old star MVP caliber center who has major injury concerns long term. But if once that's your plan, like, I don't really know. I mean, I think getting Paul George is basically like the best thing you could hope for. Like, you can criticize the plan. I would have a hard time criticizing them for signing Paul George. Like, I don't think it's a great fucking plan, but if that's your plan, this is probably your best option. And good luck to you figuring out how to fill out the rest of the roster. I mean, they'd have those three. They would have Jared McCain. I forgot who else they drafted. They drafted one other guy in the second round. Who knows if he'll be good or not.
And then
I think
Council's the only other guy under contract.
Yeah, and it's fine. He's what he is. And then they have Paul Reed, who they could guarantee. Did they guarantee? I mean, have they made that decision yet? Do we even know?
No,
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything about it.
So that's another decision they have. Yeah. So we'll just have to see. All right. So
we got a bunch of restricted free agents that have been signed in the last day or two.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, the great Max Christie.
Yeah, how are we ignoring the elephant in the room?
Yeah, huge for the Lakers to handle this piece of business.
4 for 32 million
before he hit the market. Who knows?
Hey, what are they going to say now? What are they going to say now? They said the Lakers couldn't do it.
I don't. What has he done? Like, I don't get what he's done that you're worried.
It's just based off potential, honestly.
But like, that's
and
fine.
Off Lakers Twitter.
But he's a restricted free agent, so just like, be like, cool, dude. We'll get to you when we get to you.
Yeah, like, why is this the first business they take care of instead of like?
Why do you have to give him a fucking 4-year deal? Like, maybe there'll be details here and it's not all guaranteed or whatever, but maybe. On the surface, it just looks like I don't know what you're rushing to make this deal
like,
for.
Yeah, it's like, who are they bidding against? Same thing with the Patrick Williams thing.
According to Adrian Wojnarowski, Christie is a developmental success story for the Lakers.
How?
What the fuck did he do?
Let's just keep that in mind. Okay?
What did he do? Hit some open threes off LeBron passes or something in one game?
So harsh, quick to judge, Woj would never steer us wrong.
Max Christie, he scored 4.2 points per game last year. He averaged 14.1 minutes. He shot 42.7% from the field, and he shot 35.6% from three. Why the fuck are you giving him an 8? Like, what's again? Who was like?
I'm putting my kids into basketball out the womb, son. I don't care if they whack. You are getting me some millions, okay? Because look at what Max Christie and Patrick Williams are able to do on the basketball court. And look at the money they bring home to their families. Now, this is crazy, man.
I mean, I understand the cap is going up and everybody's projecting this stuff forward, but like,
This is crazy.
I have no idea. Like, again, who were you? Was it some team? Like, you know what? We're gonna throw an offer sheet at Max Christie.
The Charlotte Hornets. Or
Nobody's
the
gives a
Detroit
fuck about Max Christie.
Pistons.
It's just crazy. Like, I don't know. That one's crazy to me. The Pat Williams one yesterday. So Patrick Williams gets 5 years, $90 million.
That's insane.
I believe it has a player option on the final year.
Who knows what the Bulls are doing? They're all laced on fentanyl up there. So
yeah.
I think the Patrick Williams deal is fun. I mean, I'd be interested to see like
this guy he's barely healthy and he sucks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like incentives for games played.
Probably.
But the cap hit stays like even if those are unlikely incentives, like they still count against the cap. I'm pretty sure. So,
yeah.
I don't get it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you want to sign him because you think like, yeah, he's not developed at like the way we thought, but he's still he's 22, so he's still kind of young and whatever. Like, that's fine. I get it. You know, his player archetype, that type of wing with that size is, that's the thing that everybody's looking for. That's the reason we paid OG Anunoby as much money as we did, even though he has his own injury concerns. That's why Mikal Bridges was like super coveted around the league and why we paid the significant price that we did to get him, because wings and versatile players and all this stuff. Like, I get all of that. He's been very not healthy throughout his career. He shoots a good percentage from three on extremely low volume, and he's not a good rebounder. And like, I don't know.
There's like literally nothing else you can say about the
guy. And if you're worried about him getting to restricted free agency, like, dude, the max a team's going to give him is a 4-year deal. They can't actually go any longer than that. And I saw somebody like say that they had heard Charlotte was going to give him a similar offer. And I'm like, cool. Like, let Charlotte sign him to that similar offer and then just fucking match it if you want. Like, I don't really see the issue there. Like, dare somebody to fucking
team. You know what? Teams also worry about hurting the players' feelings about letting them go to restricted free agency.
You can hurt Patrick Williams' feeling.
Yeah, fine. You can. It's like, it's not a big deal if Patrick Williams is a little. It's a teensy bit sad because the Charlotte Hornets offered him something before you guys did. Like,
yeah, I don't know. That was pretty wild to me.
That contract convinced me to put my kids into basketball at a young age. Whenever I have kids.
I just didn't understand. Like, what was weirder to me is so many people were like, I like this deal for them. I like this deal for the Bulls. I like it for both teams. I'm like, can we fucking be serious? Like, the
Bulls are a team that's going nowhere.
Well, they're doing like this rebuild thing, which fine.
Too late.
Yeah, you pivoted to it too late. So now Zach LaVine apparently has no market even with the first attached to him. So good luck with that. Caruso, you traded for Josh Kiddey. Shout out SJ Basketball 8 for coming up with that. That was a really good one. But like, you traded him for Giddey, and he's whatever you think about that trade, that's the deal. You didn't get any picks in the trade. Who did they draft? They drafted Matas Buzelis. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, so I apologize if that's incorrect. Buzelis, we'll just call him Buzelis. Who can't shoot, and again, I mean, he's a rookie, so what the hell are you expecting? He's not gonna come in, and I just, the only good thing about this direction they picked is they can tank this year, and I think their pick is top 10 protected, so they're gonna keep that pick. They're gonna be awful this year, and now they're gonna lose DeRozan in all likelihood for nothing. So again, even if you weren't gonna get amazing stuff for DeRozan at the deadline or something, I'd rather get something instead of nothing. I don't know. It's like, to me, the Patrick Williams thing is like, you're basically giving him that contract because you drafted him 4th overall. It looks bad to draft somebody that high and then not give them a second contract. And you're worried that if you let him go, maybe he gets healthy on another team and he figures it out and he puts it together and he becomes the guy that you thought. I don't know. To me, it's just like, it's kind of cowardly, to be honest. That's what I think of it.
I mean, they should have just traded him to the Pacers for like a conditional 2nd round pick.
Couple of them, maybe.
Yeah.
Ace Bouchard said they got Adem Bona and Justin Edwards.
The Justin Edwards thing is very interesting to me because
was
was
he the number one prospect a couple years ago?
number one prospect coming out of high school, goes to Kentucky, underperforms like hell, like gets overshadowed completely by literally almost the whole entire roster. You've heard
like he was terrible, right?
he was awful, goes undrafted, was signed by Clutch, of course. Goes undrafted. And now is on the 76ers team and might end up playing, might not. I mean, like,
If he ends up playing, it's probably not a great thing.
yeah. But I mean, with the way their situation is in terms of the Paul George contract, and they'll have $13 million and that $8 million non-taxpayer mid-level to give out. I mean, roster spots are going to be slim pickings, and a former number one prospect out of high school might do enough to garner some 8th or 9th man minutes. Who knows?
Yeah.
I like Dembona, by the way, too. I think
Yeah, I mean, I will say that during the draft when Givney was analyzing that pick, he made Dembona sound like fucking Hakeem Olajuwon. So I don't know. Maybe he really is. It was kind of crazy listening to what he was saying after he got picked.
He gasses up those prospects a lot, but I think it's because he gets a lot of like good intel.
Oh yeah,
pay them back for the intel.
Yeah, and he also probably gets paid to do this shit.
Yeah. He's like the one guy ESPN pays to actually care about that shit.
Well, there was another guy, I think Nikola Jurisic. He went in the second round, and he was like, he made him sound like a superstar scoring prospect. He was like 3-level scorer. I was like, dude, he just went fucking like 43rd. Can we relax? Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh man. Chris Bernhardt, he asks, who's the signing today that gives us the Sam reaction to Lou Dort or the Shwin reaction to Jeremy Grant / Fred VanVleet? I don't think we'll ever get the Lou Dort reaction again, because like that would have been the Patrick Williams reaction, honestly. If I saw Patrick Williams' contract last night and we were streaming, I would have had the Lou Dort reaction again. Probably.
Well, sleeper would be Hartenstein, right?
Maybe.
Sleeper pick for that.
Maybe.
Somebody comes in and is like, Isaiah Hartenstein, 4 years, $130 million. I'll be like, well, best of luck. Congratulations to you and your family.
Congrats to your generational wealth.
Yeah, I am very happy for you. And while I will miss seeing you play for the Knicks, 1, obviously we couldn't pay you that. 2, I don't know that you're worth that, but I will never say a bad word about you because you're a good pal of mine. So that would be my reaction if we see some huge number for Isaiah. Hopefully that doesn't happen because that would suck for us. But yeah, the signing who would it be?
It would probably be like the Pistons signing somebody to an absurd amount of money.
I gotta let me pull up this free. I should probably
like the Pistons signing DeMar DeRozan or something.
Yeah, I mean it's I know this is crazy. I probably should have the
free
agent. Yeah, I should probably have the free agent tracker up here. Let's see.
Tobias Harris. That's my dark horse.
Can we put the free agent tracker on the screen here?
I think so.
That would be very handy to
the NBA free agent one, or is there a better one? Because NBA does it kind of like I don't know how they do it. It's like
which one's the best one?
If anybody, I think Spout Track has the best one, so we'll do this.
Okay.
Hold on, I should be able to figure this out.
Smith. Here's an interesting side note just on the Max Christie developmental success story for the Lakers.
You're still on this Max Christie thing.
Well, I just saw that he's their 15th rostered player now.
Interesting.
Provided LeBron resigns, obviously.
Yes.
So that would mean that,
any acquisition of any other player would have to be through sign and trade.
And it would also have to be consolidation, too. To a certain extent, because I don't think anybody's trading for any of the Lakers guys 1v1.
Oh hell no.
So
it's probably gonna be like D'Lo, Cam Reddish, and like a first or something.
Gabe Vincent makes $11 million.
Gabe Vincent's a good piece to go away in trades.
I think they'll probably move Jared Vanderbilt if the right deal comes along.
Yeah, he's been kind of injury prone and whatnot.
There we go.
And here
There's
we
the
go.
tracker. Look at that. Look at that.
Nice.
Never say I'm gonna try and fuck around with the formats here. No, that one doesn't work. Sorry, we're gonna have to use this format. I know that Mr. Jeremy Cohen will probably be upset with me, but he can cry about it. So these are the deals that are agreed to. We have OG Anunoby, Pascal, Quickly, Claxton, Patrick Williams, Malik Monk, Obi Toppin, Royce O'Neal, DeAndre Jordan, Alex Len. By the way, Malik Monk looking like he probably left money on the table, by the way. Alex Len, Bol. Then these available players, LeBron James allegedly available. I don't know that that's accurate. Paul George, who also may not be available for much longer. Klay Thompson, Tobias Harris. Klay Thompson. There you go. That's the one. That's the number. He could be bad. I think DeRozan could be bad. And I think if I had to,
Tobias Harris.
I don't think Tobias Harris is gonna be bad. I just struggle to see a team that's like, we want him so badly we're gonna throw
Detroit.
I don't think so. I think that stuff all died down once they fired
Oh, you think that was the whole Troy Weaver of it all?
I think so, but I could be wrong. Arn Tellem is still there, so maybe they're still doing weird things. Who the fuck knows?
That's our guy, Troy Weaver. He's in Washington now. You get some Washington players for on the dollar.
I think so. I would, if I had to rank in order, I'd probably say Klay Thompson, DeRozan, KCP.
Oh, Fultz is a free agent? I wonder who's going to pick up Fultz. This is like the Magic might be looking to upgrade that point guard spot via trade.
They definitely.
I can't believe. I think it's probably just based on the likelihood, but I cannot believe that the Magic have not been talked about as much with the Paul George stuff.
Well, he has a meeting with them apparently.
And I'm to understand that that's a real thing, but like it feels like they're just at that juncture now, where it's like, I mean, I can see an argument for not doing it, but an aging 35, 34-year-old all-star wouldn't be the worst thing. But it's probably a sign and trade situation. Or no, they have the cap space, right? Magic's got.
Yeah, they got the cap space.
That's why they're tied to Hartenstein. So yeah, they could just sign him outright, which is why I don't hate it, or why I didn't hate it initially.
Even if they didn't have the cap space right now, they had the cap space. They could create the cap space.
Yeah. So I thought it was weird. I felt like people didn't say enough about that, but maybe that's just because everybody heard it and was like, okay, that was cute, but there's no way he's actually entertaining the Magic.
Magic will get somebody. I mean,
100%. They got the money. I think Klay Thompson, not for the Magic, but I think that's somebody we'll probably hear about quickly.
Klay Thompson's gonna stay out west.
Yeah, I think the Maverick stuff is real. He seems like the exact kind of guy that they would buy in on as like their landscape altering move of the summer. Like, okay, well, we brought Klay Thompson in, and like that's a big deal, guys. Like, no, it's not.
Can I just say, I actually think it would be terrible. To me, like, do people understand? Like, Klay Thompson was fucking bad last year. He was bad last year.
He had to get benched.
And I know the numbers look fine. I'm pretty sure by most metrics, or at least I can pull them up. I'll look for it. I think on Cleaning the Glass, he was like.
Dude, so washed he started wearing accessories.
Yeah, on Cleaning the Glass, they had him as like basically the second most destructive player in the rotation, aside from the great Andrew Wiggins, who was also fucking terrible last year. So.
It wears a lot of ass.
And I understand that Klay Thompson's a great shooter. Klay Thompson has played in a very, very different system and style of play than what Dallas runs. I'm not saying that's good or bad that Dallas plays the way they do. It is a thing. That is the reality of the situation. They play a specific way, and they're not going to be running all kinds of 17 action sets and fucking Curry gets off the ball and we run a down screen and we run like they're not doing all this shit. It's going to be a lot of Klay spotting up, and yeah, he's a great spot up shooter, but he's been a great spot up shooter playing a totally different system that gets the ball popping around and gets guys involved. And that's not always a good thing. Like we saw that this year. Like, hey, you know what? Sometimes if your team doesn't have the talent, maybe you just don't have a bunch of sets like for fucking 7 possessions in a row where Steph gets off the ball and runs around 15 screens and can't get the ball back because the fucking team sucks. Like I'm not saying it's all, I'm just saying he's played the specific way. Now he leaves that environment. He goes to Dallas, who play, I mean, as different as you could from Golden State stylistically, and he's doing it on the downside of his career, and he's been pretty clearly in decline. I don't know. To me,
I think Mavs fans are buying into him being in a lesser role, like a much lesser role, just based on like what I've seen from certain Mavs mutuals, including our good friend SJ. I think they're just anticipating that he'll be in a lesser role, especially if they retain Derrick Jones Jr. They think bringing in Grimes helps a bit as well. I think they're just anticipating him being in a much lesser role and having less responsibilities on both ends of the court. I think that's what most teams are buying into, at least with Klay Thompson, if they bring him into their system.
And that's, for me, that was my hesitancy with the Klay Thompson stuff at first before it was so like heavily reported. Like I was just like, there's no way that this guy is prioritizing or that there's so much of a difference in the money between what's realistic, and what he wants, that he's actually going to leave the only place that he's ever played in that's catered to who he is as a person or as a player, and more importantly, has catered to the things that ail him now as a player. Like they worked around his injuries, and that's why it even looks like he wasn't a bad player on the stat sheet. Like I had such a hard time believing that his head had gotten so big or that he feels so hurt by the Warriors organization, who he's won 4 championships with and made life-changing money with, that he was actually going to leave or even consider it. Obviously now, by all accounts, he's ready to get the fuck on. But I just think I think field goal attempts cut in half. The efficiency is not going to be there. Luka's going to get frustrated after that first 0 for 12 game, and you're going to see fucking.
I mean, this is just raw on off. I don't have access to Clean Glass. I'm not going to sit here and find the tweet. By raw on off of the players on their team that played more than 1,000 minutes, or just raw on court rating, sorry, of the players that played over 1,000 minutes this year, Klay Thompson was their 3rd worst regular after Andrew Wiggins and Dario Saric. He was a minus 0.5. Wiggins was a minus 0.6. Saric was a minus 1.1. If you look at on-off, he was, again, among all their rotation players that played at least over 1,000 minutes this year, he was the worst. He was a minus 7.6. Like, he was really bad this year. And this is a guy who played a shit ton of his minutes with Steph Curry. So, like, I think he's honestly, when the reports initially came out there was a reporting yesterday that Dallas was very, very interested, and he was very, very interested in Dallas. Then this morning, there was the idea of like, okay, LeBron could take a little bit less than his full max so that the Lakers would have the mid-level exception to use, the non-taxpayer mid-level exception to use. And, he could maybe go to LA. Now it seems like he's more likely to end up in Dallas than LA, which is also funny in its own way. But like when that report came out, though, that he could maybe go to LA, I was like, I think this is actually better for the fucking Mavericks because, look, Quentin Grimes had a terrible fucking 3rd year in the league. I have no idea what the hell happened to him, had a total meltdown season. And I do think he needs a bit of a reality check if his issue in New York was that he wasn't getting enough touches and he needed to be more involved, whatever. But like, he's probably
welcome to Luka Ball. Luka and Kyrie Ball.
Yeah, that's its own thing. But if he does buy into that, like, he's probably going to be better than Klay next year. Like, if he bought into that and gets his head right, I think I'd rather have Quentin Grimes than Klay Thompson in 2024. And I don't even really think it's like as bad as Grimes was last year. He's probably better than fucking Klay. Like, I don't know. To me, it's just kind of like
there's more upside to him. He's younger.
Yeah, he's younger, and I don't know. Like, I just don't really get the Klay thing. It just feels like
I think the Klay thing is a hard pivot from KCP, and the reports that Denver doesn't want to like do a sign-in trade with the Mavs for KCP, because that was one of the initial reports is that the Mavs were interested in KCP, but I think that I think there was a report that said that Denver doesn't want to do a sign and trade with the Mavericks, with sending KCP to the Mavericks. So I think the Klay pivot was that.
Which is like,
so
I think they're just looking for some type of sharpshooting.
You're talking about like what?
Breaking news: Chris Paul will be an unrestricted free agent. So.
Oh no shit.
Oh wow. Well, he's going to the Lakers, so that's that.
Yeah, I would count on that. What was I about to say? Oh, I think that Quentin Grimes, without doubt, can be Klay Thompson, but like the Klay Thompson of Theo Pinson's, if that makes sense.
You mean the Theo Pinson of Klay Thompson's?
No. I think he's going to be 15 man on the bench by the time the season's over with.
Quentin Grimes?
Yeah, I'm not optimistic.
Damn.
I mean, his second year
a bit harsh.
Better than anything Theo Pinson's ever done.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that's accurate. I'm saying that,
and Grimes is a lot better than whoever the Mavs have at the end of their bench right now. So,
I think that's just the way that it's going to shake for Dallas. I don't think that they made that trade because they're enamored with Quentin Grimes. I think they made that trade because they wanted to get rid of Hardaway.
Well, I think it's both.
This guy it's actually not Conrad. It's Comrade. His name is actually Collin. This guy Conrad sounds exactly like Tim Bontemps, laughing my ass off. That's pretty funny.
He actually does. Now that I'm thinking about it, you actually do sound like Tim Bontemps.
I don't know if he's
Yeah,
he's not quite as condescending as Bontemps can be.
Yeah, Bontemps is super condescending. He sounds like an asshole sometimes.
He also just gets like pissed all the time when people try and talk over him, and he's like, Brian. I'm like, dude, relax. You're fucking having an aneurysm over here.
Man. But I mean, Chris Paul, he's obviously a Laker, by the way.
What the fuck are the Warriors doing? Like they're just I don't even look, I get that Chris Paul isn't worth $30 million. But that much, this is literally just like they're like, well, we're not gonna be good, so I guess we're just gonna try and save money now. Bro, can they just like trade Steph to a good team or something? Because this is sad. Like they're gonna be fucking ass next year.
It's gonna be like the late Kobe years.
Like this entire bet is that their entire bet now is that like they're Kuminga and Moody and Podziemski. And look, they might actually just be better than people think because Klay was that bad, and maybe if they can fucking dump Wiggins somewhere, then they'd probably improve, honestly, by just dumping those two. But then Paul was actually good for them last year when he was on the floor. It's a weird team. And either way, it doesn't really matter because they have no chance of competing in this West.
They're done.
Yeah, they're done.
Their last chance was at least was hoping to get Paul George, and according to reports, the Clippers didn't want to do them any favors. So, real hate is back in the NBA.
I mean, that's like stupid on the Clippers' part though, because now
because you're gonna lose for nothing.
Yeah, so I don't know. This entire thing is still weird. I still don't totally.
They let the hatred blind them.
This is why I don't totally buy that he's gone though, because it's like it all seems like his ultimate end goal is like his preferred option. I still think is staying with the Clippers. I think he wants to stay with the Clippers, but
he wants that fourth year, and they don't want to give it to him.
Yeah, and so I don't know. Maybe you give him like a small guarantee or something or smaller guarantee in the fourth year, make it a half guaranteed. I don't know. I think there are ways to go around this. I also just think it's stupid because you can trade Paul George. I guarantee you can trade Paul George in a year or 2 years. Like there's no question in my mind that there will still be teams that are like it's worth the shot, unless he falls off a cliff. And quite honestly, like whatever you think of him, his play on the court last year didn't look like a guy falling off the cliff. I know the playoffs were not a great look for him, but I mean, I think that was a weird situation. Their supporting cast was awful, and him and Harden just were never going to match up with the Mavericks on that series. I mean, they still took 2 games, which is that's as much as the Thunder did, and one more than the fucking Timberwolves did. So, like, it's not like they were absolutely terrible. And, he had a couple of good games. Obviously, again, not a great series for Paul George, but I would just I would be like, look, we'll give you the fourth year, but you got to give us a little money back then. Like, it can't be like a full 4 year.
Full max, yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be
but that's the thing. He wants the max and the 4 years.
But they can. I mean, like it's like what we did with OG, where you can use the raises and all that type of stuff to kind of like
to
work
get up
it
to
out.
that number.
Yeah, they could basically give him less than what his max is with them, but more than what his max is with any other team. Like they can do that. They can find a way to do that. And I think some of this is also like, look, yeah, I get like if you give him some level of guarantee in the fourth year, maybe the guaranteed money isn't as good as it is in Philly or with Orlando, but you also just get to stay where you want to stay. And we're not making you whole, but we're making you as whole as makes sense for us. Like, I don't know. To me, that's just kind of where the middle ground should be. Maybe there's too many frayed feelings here. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that. The reporting has made it seem like he's not really like upset with the Clippers or with management. It's just like he wants that fourth year and that's his prerogative. So I don't know. It's a weird situation. 12 minutes left.
HB Greg, half of all
Shante.
super chats go to Hartenstein. If we raise enough, he stays. Let's go Knicks.
Thank you for the super chat.
Greg.
Thank you.
Thus
Isaiah
letting everyone
Hartenstein,
know
you are
that.
a cup of coffee richer, my friend.
Also, super chats are back, so there's that. Because I know super chats have
Beautiful.
been on the fritz. Apparently, according to Jake Fisher, where is it? From via Jordan Bub, he says,
That's my favorite.
What?
The Utah Jazz appear to be willing to trade for one to two solid pieces to entice Paul George to sign with them.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good luck to
Jake
them.
Fisher.
Thanks, Jake.
How many reports does Jake get right today?
Friend of the pod. Friend of the
Yes.
pod.
That's true. Is a friend of the pod.
That's why I asked how many does he get right today instead of how many does he get wrong.
There we
A lot of
go.
people been
All right.
on
Yeah.
him. I used proper verbiage.
Yes. Correct.
Jake also says that the Suns have been connected to a potential reunion with Chris Paul.
There's no way that's real. I saw that earlier today. I just can't believe that.
There was a Suns guy. Suns guy came out and said, "No way, it's happening."
Yeah, there's just no way he's gonna go back there after they traded him, and they're basically like, "We want
hate
Bradley
you."
Beal." Yeah, we want Bradley Beal more than you. Like that's how you know you're never going back to someplace. You're like, really, Bradley fucking Beal? Like, all right, we're good. Y'all have fun with that.
James sends a $4.20 super chat. Is Paul George in his hoodie mellow era?
Well, if this is the James, I think it is.
It is.
It is.
Is he? I don't think he's in his hoodie mellow era. At least the numbers don't indicate he's in the hoodie mellow era.
All right.
We'll see.
Thank you, James. Klay Thompson is in his hoodie mellow era, actually. John Sharania. James Harden plans to sign a 2-year, $70 million contract to return to the Clippers.
Shocker.
Dude, even the pictures of him that they used to tweet out just look increasingly fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting tubbier and tubbier.
It's just so ridiculous looking at James Harden. Also, like, I get the beard was his thing. It's like, all right, man.
Grow up.
Like, it's enough.
Grow up.
It's time.
The gimmick is over.
I don't. James, thanks, you guys. You're my favorite sports personalities. Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Definitely.
This James guy is pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a really good guy.
Probably not a good
I don't really like. What do people want them to do? Like, they kind of had to sign him, and you have to sign him at a number where he's going to be happy, because otherwise he's just going to be miserable. Yeah, or just.
And then you have the 76ers situation again.
Yeah, like
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never play for his organization.
Yeah, it's not great, but it is.
That whole summer tour was crazy.
He's been telling a bunch of Chinese kids about Daryl Morey that they know who the hell he is.
This
James
is.
Harden.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish.
Elimination game versus the Mavericks. 5 for 16, 0 for 6 from 3.
That was heaven for me, man. I don't know about y'all, but that was heaven for me. I love that.
Definitely a game. It was definitely a game.
A game in NBA history.
Yeah, it was the one that happened. Jordan posted this. This is news from earlier today. Woj tweeted it out. Restricted free agent forward Obi Toppin intends to sign a 4-year, $60 million contract to stay with the Indiana Pacers. He wants our thoughts on this on Obi. Good for Obi. I think it's a
Good
fine
for all the Knicks kids.
Yeah, I think it's a fine contract, and he is getting paid like a solid bench player for a team that he was a solid bench player for. The only thing I'll say is it's weird because they drafted Jarris Walker last year, and I know that they played Obi with Siakam, so like maybe they can play Jarris Walker in lineups with either Turner or Siakam or whatever. And Carlisle has been very willing to experiment with all kinds of different groupings in his career, but like, I mean, it's a pretty big commitment to. It's a solid commitment to Obi.
Significant.
Yeah, you also made a huge commitment to Pascal Siakam, who's getting a 4-year max at $189.5 million guaranteed. And I just
I wonder what this means for Benedict Mathurin.
Yeah, I don't. It feels like to me the Pacers are planning something at some point because Mathurin probably still has some value around the league as kind of a perceived potential high talent. Jarris Walker, I'm sure, still has value around the league. They've got a bunch of contracts now that they could stack down the line.
Their names were tied to KCP via sign and trade. I wonder if they try to package a couple of those young guys for via sign and trade with the Nuggets or something.
Would be interesting.
Yeah, the Pacers came up earlier today for KCP, right?
Yeah, so it's very interesting what they could do with those players, those contracts. JL says he said earlier after seeing that Christie contract, Deuce got scammed so bad. Deuce is probably like the best value contract in
we need to retire his agents like a jersey for him in the rafters if we win a championship. Mark Stein has this. There'll be no shortage of Chris Paul suitors once he becomes a free agent. But league sources continue to say, as the sideline has been reporting for weeks, that San Antonio has strong interest in Paul join forces with Victor Wembanyama. I actually would like that. That would be good because they desperately need they need like an actual fucking point guard that can run offense and like understands, hey, I think I will pass the ball to the 7'4" freak that can like do all these things. I think I will do that and not be like Keldon Johnson and just be like, it's Keldon Johnson time, bro.
Or Jeremy Sohan masquerading as a point guard for 25 games of the season. Shout out to Greg Popovich for being so washed to do that.
True.
Special talent.
Also, I'm happy for Obi. Just to comment on that. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm happy for Obi.
Good deal. Happy for Quick, especially. I can't believe that he made it all the way from a D+ draft grade to $175 million. That's a real developmental success story. Adrian Wojnarowski, but yeah, Obi Toppin
got traded, was a major piece in trading for OG Anunoby, and then gets paid. Yeah, it's a great success story for Emmanuel Quickley specifically.
In other news, agents should be pushing for their clients to get drafted by the Knicks.
We do right by these guys.
Yeah.
All these guys are getting moved to places that we're gonna get. They're probably gonna get paid. And Grimes, he'll have an opportunity in Dallas. Like he's going to get minutes there, and his game in theory, I mean, he's never going to be in a better situation for shoot fucking open threes, and that's your job. So we'll see if he can do it. But yeah, Obi Toppin, like I gotta say, I know there are a lot of Knicks fans that are like, I just feel like there's so many Knicks fans that are like shit on this guy all the time. I don't really get it. Like I get that maybe I understand he did not live up to the billing of 8th pick, what you're hoping for there. He got put in a weird situation with Randall becoming an all-star, all-NBA player. I think he handled his time in New York for the most part very professionally. Even if there was friction behind the scenes, we didn't hear much about it at all in public. And he hasn't said anything bad about the Knicks since getting traded. Even when he kind of was being goaded into saying something about them after the Pacers won the series in New York, he didn't say anything. So I have no ill will towards him, even though he's obviously not what we hoped for. We replaced him with Dante DiVincenzo, who's obviously been better, and he gets paid a nice contract, so good for him. I got no problem with that sequence of events. And also, like, I don't miss him. Like, I like the guys we have in our rotation now. So I got, I'm not exactly like, I think this worked out well for everybody in the grand scheme of things.
Second year of James Harden's deal is a player option, which is pretty funny. But again, like Shwin was saying, they had to sign him to a deal that he was going to sign. That security.
Chris Byrne. To be fair, Shwin, you work with one guy who despises Obi, LOL, so you probably know why people hate him. I don't get why Stacey hates him. It doesn't make any sense to me. We argued about it on the pod a few weeks ago. I don't get it. Like, I just don't understand it because to me, he was fucking, like, I get, like, I don't actually even fucking hate Elfrid Payton, really. Because I'm just like, it's not his fault. He sucked, and Tibbs kept starting him, which was dumb. And then he, like, left, and it was over. So I don't really care about that.
Is he a free agent?
Yes, he is definitely on the market.
Food for thought.
Yeah, definitely food for thought. But, like, I hated Elfrid Payton during his time here, but I hated him because of how he was being used, not because he himself was some kind of, like, necessarily some raging asshole. And he hasn't said shit really since he left either. Like, my big thing is, like, if you're not, like, a huge raging asshole in your time here and then you don't talk shit when you leave, I don't really have a problem with you, most people. But like, yeah, I mean,
I think he was referring to Tyrese, by the way. He says I'm talking about the fake Spurs fan and former resident of Long Island.
Tyrese's opinions on stuff they can't count because he now all of a sudden hates Julius Randle too. So, like, Tyrese doesn't count. Tyrese has no loyalty, and for that reason, I will not be responding. Tyrese, if Obi Toppin had turned into, like, a fucking all-star, he would have been like, oh, I always loved Obi. He was always my guy, whatever. Tyrese is a vibes-based analyst, and I respect that. But I just can't bother to hate on a guy like Obi Toppin who had a good career. All right, we're a minute away now.
We're almost here. Who's the first deal that gets announced? It's gonna be like some random ass motherfucker.
100%.
Yeah, it'll be
Gilbert Arenas podcast is expected to sign Chris Paul for 3 years, $350K.
Dorian Finney-Smith trade. There you go. That's my pick.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
My favorite thing out of all this free agent stuff is actually the trades that are going to happen from these teams that are either selling or trying to make room or sign-in trades. I mean, that just shakes up the league even more than the signings.
All right, here we go.
I'm refreshing.
Here we go. We're
Elfrid
back.
Payton, 4 years, $100 million to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Dog. Oh man. Let's see who's first.
Klay Thompson is departing the Warriors, and the sides will begin to work through sign and trade options. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Luke Cornett agreed to a 1-year deal to return.
See, it's always some random motherfucker, yo. Oh my god.
Once a Knick, always a Knick. Congratulations.
The team that got him his first championship.
Luke Cornett.
Probably the most boring possible first pick. First
signing.
Congratulations. Good job to Luke Cornett for surviving.
He'll always be remembered for this.
He will. I keep seeing this. I see people tweeting shit like this, and it doesn't make any sense to me. The Warriors lost Poole and CP3 and got nothing in return. I get the Paul part of it. Like, who cares that they lost Jordan Poole? Did anybody watch Jordan Poole play basketball?
Jordan Poole was a terrorist on the basketball court last year.
Yeah, it's like great that they were able to dump Jordan Poole for an expiring contract. Like, amazing. Good job.
Yeah, like imagine them having to deal with 3 more years of Jordan Poole doing whatever the fuck he was doing this year.
I feel so bad for that guy, man.
Dog, there was this one play I saw of him where he did this fucking Euro step and he just fucking like almost slammed his whole head on the floor from like slipping, and like the Bucks went the other way with it. It was just like, wow, brutal year from this guy.
Do you think that the Warriors would have been better with Jordan Poole over Klay Thompson this year?
No.
I respect that.
Absolutely not. He was
a pile of solid doo-doo or a pile of diarrhea.
A bowl diarrhea.
Oh man! All right, free agency. Come on, let's see.
Cornett was an important part of Missoula's bench rotation. All right, thank you.
Who said that? Shams?
No, just a random Celtics. But Tim Bontemps, my alter ego, says Cornette played a significant role for Boston last season and likely will begin next season in a significant role as they'll be without Porzingis.
I mean, it is true. Like he just having continuity in the guy who like knows your system and theoretically operates in the same way that Kristaps does is probably smart and good for them.
I wonder if I saw something earlier about Tyus Jones via sign-in trade being moved. I wonder who picks him up. It's gonna be very interesting.
Kevin Love, 2 years, $8 million to return to the Miami Heat.
What is going on with this? Why? What do you need? Like, good for them, I guess. I mean, I know that like,
bro, Miami is in hell right now. They hate Pat Riley.
I know that Spoelstra can make. He somehow turned him into like a functional player again last couple of years, but
turns Pistons of wine.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So Shams is like officially saying this that after 13, the way these guys tweet is so ridiculous. After 13 iconic seasons together, sources say Klay Thompson is departing the Warriors, and the sides will begin to work through sign and trade options. Well, I mean that was expected. That was reported earlier in the day.
It's like writing an obituary.
Yeah. So Mavs, Clippers, and Lakers interested in Klay Thompson allegedly.
Sean Cunningham says that this is more important. Anil Gagna says that KCP likely to sign with the Orlando Magic.
Hey, if he's not going to Philly, I'm good with that.
Dude, that's actually really smart for the Magic, by the way, because what they're doing effectively is they're like, okay, Paul George is not coming here. So we're not going to fuck around.
Quick pivot.
We're going to go get the guy. Yeah, we're going to go get the guy we can get, and we're going to pay him. That's actually smart. If they get him, I like that pickup for them a lot. I still feel like they need a guard creator. Tyus Jones actually might not be a bad fit over there.
Oh, via sign and trade.
So that'd be interesting.
Sam is obsessed with Tyus Jones being signed and traded somewhere.
I'm obsessed with anybody being signed and trade, man. Let's get some movement out here, man. I want to see some ramifications.
Yeah.
All right.
Sean Cunningham says sources confirm Sacramento Kings are pursuing trade for Brandon Ingram. I'm told Kings have had discussions with the Pelicans, and it's worth noting Ingram was an emerging star under coach Alvin Gentry, who works in Kings front office.
Okay.
Cool, dude.
Like, was it like congrats. Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes or whatever?
I'm not moved.
Yeah, Wendy is saying Orlando's still in on Paul George. Wonder if that slows down news on iHeart. I mean, they could be in on him, but they can actually pay KCP, and they could find ways to create space to still max Paul George. Like they have contracts that guys would take. Like I guarantee you, if they need to, some team would be like, "Sure, we'll take Cole Anthony's contract."
I was just about to say Cole Anthony. Yeah.
Teams
will always need that bench creator.
Yeah, they have a couple. I mean, Isaac is somebody they could easily move, and they could probably get an asset for Isaac too. And he's got his guarantee date is until January or something. Wow. So that's an easy contract.
Chris Haynes says that the Bulls proposed Andrew Wiggins and Chris Paul for Zach LaVine, and the Warriors said no, and then waived Chris Paul.
So that should give you an idea of where Zach LaVine's market value is right now. By the way,
Jesus,
that's pretty tough, buddy.
Bruh, Zach LaVine is gonna end up just playing out his whole thing in Chicago.
Jordan Bub says it'd take a Hail Mary for the Clippers to keep Paul George.
That's
from Chris
Haynes.
Hold a second here.
I mean, I think that's obvious. I mean, it's interesting to see a lot of these breakups now, like Clippers and Paul George, Klay Thompson and the Warriors.
Klay Thompson to have discussions with the Mavericks, Lakers, Clippers, and 76ers. I think the 76ers is new.
I think the 76ers were mentioned early. It was like super early on, and then like it became clear that like I think Klay was going to stay on the West Coast.
I find it. I wonder if there's. I don't know. There's no agent connection between KCP and Paul George, which was what I was wondering if like getting.
They were linked that way.
Yeah, they're not linked because KCP's clutch and Paul George is CIA, so definitely like they're enemies actually. So, mortal enemies. We'll see how that goes. All right. Hopefully we get some more signings here.
Give me slop.
Ace Bouchard says, "Remember when there were people demanding the Knicks trade for Levine because the Knicks didn't have a star despite already having Brunson and Randall on the roster?" Yeah, good times when the fan base continue to be idiots and whatnot.
For the record, my one good Randall take that's aged well is that even after his first year with the Knicks, I said I would not trade Randall for him, and that I think Randall has always been better than him. And I doubled down on that in the 2021-22 offseason when I spent every waking moment of my life trying to concoct ways to get Randall off the team, but never for Zach LaVine. So,
yeah.
ESPN's Bobby Marks says he expects New York to add a player to the Mikal Bridges deal, either a player currently under contract.
It's probably gonna be like Precious or Mamadi Diakite, right?
Yeah, something. Yeah. Also says New York will go up to the second apron, hard capped at the second apron is what that means. So that would make sense.
Good info. Thanks, Bobby.
Collin, who's hitting a home run for your Orioles tonight?
We're playing the Rangers. Who's pitching for the Rangers?
Andrew Haney, whatever his name is.
I would say Gunnar is as good a bet as ever. I would also say, let me look at the lineup. All right.
Windor says that the Magic are not going to spend any money until they know what's going on with Paul George. So
yeah, I figure he's the biggest domino to fall. So
see, this
we
is
won't hear a
thing,
lot of
like,
noise.
It's weird. It's like I literally DM'd that to Shwin last night.
Yes.
Westberg, Hayes, O'Hearn, Mateo, Kerstock, Kowser. I would say you could probably get good props on Kowser or Westberg that are worth it. Go ahead, Shwin.
All I was going to say is that if you're Isaiah Hartenstein, you know that the Knicks are going to they will give you you are their priority. They have made a bunch of moves to make sure that they can give you every last cent that they are allowed to legally give you. And, other teams are making you wait potentially. We'll see, obviously, if any other team comes in for him, say Oklahoma City. But I've personally, maybe I'll be fucking wrong here in like 5 minutes or something, but I've personally never really thought that Oklahoma City is that interested in Isaiah Hartenstein.
No.
I don't know.
Since day one, we've said that's weird. Isaiah Hartenstein to OKC. I think that Orlando, maybe, but still, like you said, they're holding off for Paul George. And that even then, if Paul George falls through, they're just going to pivot to other guards before they do anything else. I think we're here, man. We got the money on the table. Like I get it, but at a certain point, like we're prioritizing you, like you're saying. I think we have a legitimate championship bid. I don't think any other team with the capacity to sign him can say that. But we'll see. I don't know. I'll feel a lot better once it's over.
I concur with that assessment.
Orioles Yankees race for first will be special. It was special. It's over. The Orioles are in.
We're not doing baseball talk today. Fuck the baseball. Shut up about baseball.
That's in the chat.
I don't care. We're not doing baseball talk. We're not doing baseball talk unless somebody wants to pay us to read a bunch of fucking super chats about baseball. We're not doing baseball chat today on the day of free agency. After last year was ruined by Elon Musk nuking the app on the first day of free agency.
Wait, that was last year on the first day of free agency?
Yeah, it was the worst day of my life because of that.
Man, my memory is shot like shit.
I refuse to let America's alleged pastime ruin my day today.
Oh my gosh, where's the news? Oh, I hate this shit.
Everybody's trying to make sure that they don't get hit with no tampering.
It's like, give me a break, man. It's gonna happen regardless.
So this is from Brian Windhorst. When they signed Kawhi to that extension, they never told Paul George. He found out about it when the rest of the world did. Yo, why are these guys like such? Look, why does that matter? Honestly, why does that matter? Oh yeah, dude. By the way, like again, why the fuck does that matter? It's just crazy.
This league is obsessed with like the drama and the reality TV of it all. That's why.
Yeah. I'm going to pull up Luke Cornett's on-off stats while we wait. Let's see what was the best Luke Cornett lineup, and we will proceed to discuss.
Dog. Oh my god. The good thing about today is Warriors fans just like freaking out about all this news. Like they're freaking out about the Haynes news that Bulls proposed Wiggins and Paul for Levine, and Golden State said no and waived CP3. So
this is from Yossi Goslin, also a friend of the pod. I would imagine this domino. He's quoting the Sean Cunningham tweet about Brandon Ingram and the Kings' interest in him. I would imagine this domino falls after Paul George makes a decision. Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes would match salaries for Brandon Ingram and his trade bonus. The Sacramento Kings would probably want to move off one of Trey Lyles or Chris Duarte as well, so they can field a roster below the $170.8 million.
They're definitely getting rid of Chris Duarte.
Dude, that guy has had the weirdest,
NBA
stupidest career. Yeah, got drafted in the first round. It got like mad hype in that.
It was like the 25-year-old rookie.
He's 24, 25 years old. Basically, just never played for the Pacers. Got traded to the Kings. Never played.
Barely played for the Kings.
Yeah. And now they're just like, yeah, we gotta dump this contract, man. It's killing us. I mean, Lyles actually plays them, so I imagine it'd be Duarte they'd want to dump.
Yeah, and Lyles is actually like a pretty decent NBA player.
Lissandro, let's fucking go Mets something on Twitter. If Paul George and Klay Thompson jumped off a bridge, would you guys do it also? Sign some fucking contracts. At Caldwell Pope, at Isaiah Hartenstein,
Dog.
at Andre Drummond. Hello.
Constantine says this is poppycock. Remember in like 2018 we were getting Al Farouk Aminu news right as the clock struck 12. I'll never forget that. That was insane.
What happened to the game we love?
This league used to actually care about like actual. Used to care about us as fans.
The NBA fucked this up because they had they started doing like the fake "we care about tampering" shit.
Yeah, now they have to keep it through all the way now. I have to be consistent.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Because we care about consistency about this shit, apparently.
Well, as for now, still got all the top free agents still on the board here.
Yep, because no one's doing anything until Paul George does something. Literally.
It looks like in 175 possessions with Luke Cornett, Sam Hauser, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, and Peyton Pritchard.
I knew Peyton Pritchard was going to be in that lineup.
Yeah, the Celtics outscored opponents by 33.7 points, and that was the best Cornett lineup.
The three white knights and Jason Tatum.
This is crazy.
That's what we're here for.
I know Paul George feels like the fucking man right now, bro. He has all the power in the world.
Selfishly, I can't be mad at him because I would be holding everyone else by the balls too. Like, I would turn my phone off.
Hold on. DeAndre Jordan agreed to a contract?
Yes.
Yeah, 1 year, $3.6 million with the Nuggets.
That's crazy. Why the fuck did that happen?
Those Jokic on-off numbers got to get boosted.
It's so funny. He must be like the nicest guy ever because he's been washed for like 5 years, and teams still keep giving him contracts. It's crazy.
Them Jokic on-off numbers, man. They
need
that boost.
James said Cornette income.
Yes, James, correct.
John Leary, he asked is Bob Myers low-key overrated? I remember when some Knicks fans wanted to replace Leon with him to start the 2022-23 season.
I don't even think it's low-key. I think he is.
Well, he's an analyst now, so.
And he sucks as an analyst.
Yeah, he does. It's like, are you good at anything, dude?
Are you doing a scratch-off lottery ticket right now?
No, I'm scratching off a gift card.
Okay.
John Clark, NBC Sports, says source confirms the Sixers will be meeting with Paul George this evening in California.
Okay. Did he put a time on it? Maybe we could circle back.
No. Yeah, right? This is unbelievable. Rylan Stiles tweeted this. I wonder if the CBA has any impact on teams being more nervous about the perception of tampering, thus slower start to free agency. Before was laissez-faire attitude about second-round picks. Now they're vital to cost-controlled talent with stricter cap/penalty rules. It's probably a fair point. I have a suggestion since we have nothing to talk about right now because free agency apparently hasn't started. I think when you lose, like you know how in the NFL you get compensatory picks when guys leave in free agency and stuff like that, if you just let them walk. I think there should be compensatory picks that come in as end of the second round picks to teams when they let guys walk or leave in free agency or free agency,
Of a
whatever.
certain threshold?
What?
Of a certain threshold, or what kind of guys are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the hell I know the NFL's they have like some insane formula for figuring this out. I don't know what the formula would be, but I do think the idea of compensatory picks and them, you just slot them in at the end of the second round or something, and whatever the criteria is for that, I think that would be a good idea. I'm just saying.
I don't hate it.
I think it'd be a good idea.
I was thinking that maybe when free agency starts, people could sign contracts.
Yeah. But yeah, Bob Myers is Bob Myers basically benefited from the players demanding that the cap, like the new media deal in 2016 just get immediately like calculated in right then. So there was this insane cap boom that all happened in one season that he had nothing to do with, by the way. And because of that, it made them able to sign Kevin Durant. So yeah, I think
Adrian Wojnarowski, the Jazz are planning to waive center Omer Yurtseven. Source tells ESPN.
I feel like I put that guy on some of my parlays this year.
Another center into the free agency market.
So they're clearing a roster space. That's interesting, maybe. Eventually. I'm not sure what it means. I think they're going to trade Laurie. I don't think Laurie is staying there. That's what I think.
Laurie to OKC for a bunch of picks?
Once Ainge starts putting out there like, oh yeah, look, we would love to keep him. We'd love to give him his max contract. Right. He loves it here.
But I won't say no to any trades.
Yeah, but we're listening. I'm like, all right, dude. I know what's happening here. It's the Shaq meme. Can't fool me. I'm familiar with your game. Yeah, I don't know.
Thanks a lot, Paul George. George Paul.
Fucking yeah. So I think Laurie's gone. Yeah, it could be OKC.
Yeah, Judah Benshar, forgive me, just commented that Shwin is right. The exact same thing was reported with McHale.
It was reported with him when he was leaving the Nets. It was reported with Donovan Mitchell when the Jazz traded him. Remember, because they traded Gobert first, and then they were like, well, this doesn't mean that we're going to trade Donovan Mitchell. We might try and use the pieces.
Wait, what was reported with McHale?
That the Nets were never going to trade him. They're like, oh, no, we love him so much. And I mean, I think some of that was true, but I think they also were like got realistic and
they had a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah. But like, it's obvious they clearly at least had been listening to offers, because after he got traded, now we found out that Ainge had contacted them and they had talked to other teams. So like, look, if you're taking calls on a player, which every team should do, unless it's like literally prime LeBron or something, you should listen to calls for players. And that's why I never believed that he was like totally ungettable. I thought it was stupid they kept him as long as they did. And they have, I got to say, as stupid as it was, they at least found a way to kind of rectify and do a good job of getting assets and setting themselves up for a rebuild now. But
kind
of stupid.
Kelly Iko of The Athletic, Nicholas Batum will not be returning to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Shocker.
I mean, the rumor was he's going to go back to France. I think what our good pal Nemo told us that back in after the playoff series. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
That was a rumor. That was a rumor back in France anyway. John Leary. Adam Silver ruined free agency and trades, but at least he gave us an in-season tournament and tweet on X.
That's true.
Dude, this is crazy. So right now, the biggest signing is Luke Cornett. That's it. Do we have anything else?
Nope.
What we've all been
Yo,
waiting for. So we've all been
dog.
waiting for this.
Sam, what is it with us in these live streams, man?
Look,
We
the,
sat
big, the
on-
big slop. The big slop we got too is Nicholas Batum will not be returning to 76ers. Bring him to
And
New York.
And Omer Yurtseven getting waived. Oh, and Kevin Love resigning with
Oh yeah, that's right.
whoever.
That's the second that's the second signing we got.
Yeah.
Kevin Love returning to the Heat. Huge power of balance in the East, or balance of power in the East is shifting now.
Yo, Paul George is such a dork, yo. Oh my
I like
gosh.
Kevin Love in his role.
Yeah. Look, what I don't get, like, there should be at least more of these restricted guys. You think we have to work? By the way, we haven't talked about this. So the Hawks rescinded the qualifying offer on Sadiq Bey, so he's a unrestricted free agent. They gave up 5 seconds to get him. Like, their sequence of events over the last couple since they made the Eastern Conference Finals has been like all-time disaster class stuff. All time.
Yeah, and the DeJounte thing. The Hawks are a dumpster fire. I didn't think the DeJounte trade was bad, but that's also because I think DeJounte is not a good player.
Well, the trade that sucked was getting him, but doing what they did to I don't mind what they got back. It's what it is, right?
Exactly.
They got 2 firsts, and they got they took a flyer on Dyson Daniels. Like, whatever, that's fine. I don't think you're going to get much more than that.
Bro, I cannot believe this league, yo. I cannot believe it. Got Woj tweeted out freaking paragraphs about Luke Cornett and shit.
Yeah, my thinking though too with the Hartenstein thing is that I don't think they were like, they could never announce this early because they still and they can't announce, like, kind of like what that, like, you have to kind of pretend that you're figuring stuff out so that it doesn't look like you had already planned this stuff out. You know,
bring back tampering.
in advance. Just stop caring about it. Nobody cares about this stuff,
right?
I don't even think
only people that
care.
The only thing that people were outraged about was the Lonzo Ball thing when he got signed to Chicago, like, and the Kyle Lowry sign and trade shit. Like, I guess those are the only instances that fans got mad, and it was just Raptors and like people that wanted Lonzo Ball to go somewhere else. Like, I don't know. I think that was the offseason that, like, the league really started to, like, really go in on it. But before that, no one really cared if teams signed players, like, at the very beginning of free agency. Like,
Yeah.
Oh boy! Shout out to all those fans that got upset that Kyle Lowry signed and trade with the Miami Heat at the very beginning of free agency, and Lonzo Ball did it at the beginning of free agency that year.
Yeah.
This is what you asked for. This is what you got, man. Okay.
Sources say that Collin was talking for the last minute and a half with his mic muted.
That's awesome. You should do that more, Collin.
Yeah, that sounds good. Kendrick Perkins goes off on the Los Angeles Clippers. I just don't know what they're doing right now, and it's really a damn shame. Shout out to my analyst.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins is definitely a. I can't say I disagree with him though, kind of like, because.
No, I mean, what are the Clippers doing? Yeah, this is.
You kind of have to keep. I don't know. What is you? They still owe picks. They still owe 2026 to OKC, and they owe 2028 to the Sixers, who are about to maybe sign Paul George. Like, that is fucking unbelievable. And
like, you can't get nothing for Paul George.
I gotta say, man, look, everybody had their fucking got their jokes off about Minnesota, and I did too when they made the Rudy Gobert trade. God knows the Knicks have been made fun of countless times for all of the stupid trades we made in our history. We've all had great fun making fun of the Nets for their several stupid trades. like that Paul George trade might be. It has a chance to be it might be the worst trade in NBA history because if SGA continues on his trajectory, this is a guy who's going to be a first-team All-NBA guy multiple times, potentially an MVP one day. They still are owed picks from that trade, and I mean it's just kind of unbelievable, man. How bad that trade's been for them and how great it's actually worked out for OKC in the meantime. It's nuts.
Yeah. And the funniest thing is that doesn't OKC have the space to just sign Paul George outright too if they wanted to, or at least they could make the space if they wanted to.
Sorry, say it again.
I said it's funny enough, isn't OKC one of the teams that can sign Paul George outright or at least make the space to do it if they wanted to?
They could pretty much figure it out. I mean, they could like trade Lou Dort out. I'm pretty sure that would give them enough money to
that would be so funny if they signed him while still getting picks from the Clippers.
They should do it.
For that trade.
They should do it. They should be interested in Paul George. I think if they got Paul George, they would be the favorite in the West, and they'd be the favorite for the title. I think.
Yeah. As much as I don't believe in Paul George,
trade out Lou Dort, get fucking Paul George in. Your team is what? SGA, Paul George, Jalen Williams, fucking Chet, Casey Wallace. They're gonna bring back Isaiah Joe
and Aaron Wiggins.
There's probably some other guys that I'm forgetting, but like that team is good.
Isaiah Joe.
We said that.
Yeah, I agree with this. This is from Ace Bouchard. It's one thing if tampering is happening during the season, but I don't get why it's an issue after the season ends. This is my thing. I think that once the NBA finals are over, if you're not under contract with a team heading into like the free agency period, your agent and yourself, you should be allowed to talk to any team and executive you want.
Isaiah Hartenstein is meeting with the OKC Thunder.
In Eugene, Oregon.
Oh wow, they're going to him. Good to him. Good stuff. We'll see what happens.
Anyways, tampering should be allowed. When you were saying,
yeah, I think it should be allowed because this is like now we're doing the free agent meeting stuff again. So I don't know. It's just all a bit weird to me.
This league used to mean something. The offseason used to mean something.
Why are they meeting in Eugene, Oregon? What is this?
That's where it's from.
Okay, thank you.
Collin was like, "What's this obscure location they're meeting in?"
I know. I'm literally like, I'm on my phone. I have fucking Eugene, Oregon pulled up. Like an anti-Knicks state. Okay.
So now we have to just wait and like blabber because.
Yeah. So something Sham says in the tweet is that the Knicks are working to unhard cap. Do we think that that's like what is it that they're doing that they're trying to unhard cap? Finalize the Bridges trade?
Probably, yeah.
Would you assume?
And figure out what they're doing with the
that's literally what that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to find a way to do the sign and trade so that they can be a second apron max team. And then they can give him all his money. Is that what he says in the video in the tweet?
I didn't look at the video.
Maybe
Collin did. But it says in the tweet, he says Knicks are working to unhard cap.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I didn't catch that part, unfortunately.
Also, why is Utah mentioned in that tweet?
It says, I don't know, because I guess the Yurt 7 news.
Utah focused on current roster decisions.
Yeah, because there was a tweet earlier from Jake Fish. I think it's because Jake Fisher had mentioned something earlier about like Utah, like at least like acquiring pieces to entice Paul George to come.
I mean, I think this is all kind of like, look, we'll see what ends up happening. If Hartenstein comes back, I think all of this stuff is kind of like
whatever.
In the it's kind of like this is the song and dance you do to to make it look like, oh yeah, no, we didn't have anything figured out. We had to work hard and did it all in free agency.
We had to actually discuss and have long meetings, long-winded meetings.
Yeah.
Just like the good old days. Shout out to Adam Silver, just ruining everything he can get his grubby little hands on in this league.
So, this is what it is. What?
Oh my gosh, bro! It was not even this bad last year. What the hell happened in the last year to like make tampering that much more like of an issue, or is it because there are actually more significant names in this year's free agent class?
Sorry, say it again.
Like last year, it wasn't this bad, or is it because, or am I just saying that because I don't remember if there were there's more significant names in this year's free agent class, right?
Yeah, there was also way more. I mean, there was stuff that happened earlier in free agency for sure.
Last year?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, last year wasn't this bad.
You got two
right?
signings.
Last year wasn't this bad.
We're in half an hour into free agency. You got 2 signings so far.
This is brutal. Adam Silver fucking.
It's disgusting.
This league used to mean something, man. Offseason used to mean something. Offseason used to be at least the one thing you can count on that was at least like exciting about this league. Everyone was like, man, the finals were whack, but at least the offseason will be a little bit fun. Here we are.
Imagine choosing to move from New York to Oklahoma. That would be a decision.
Literally, the whole league is waiting for Paul George to make a decision. This is insane. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, fellas.
You have fun with that. Good luck with you. Good luck with your quest. Yeah, look, I've been firmly on the I don't think Hartenstein is going to go to Oklahoma City because I don't think that they actually want him. So clearly I was wrong on that. We'll see what their offer is. It would suck to lose him to Oklahoma City. Okay.
Did you hear about Jenny Sack?
Yeah, I did hear.
I heard she's getting a 95-pound mole taken off of her ass.
Whoa, it's the guy's wife. Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Sopranos quotes and impressions. Oh, the Heat roster is just depressing. I don't like seeing tweets about it. Yeah, that's tough. FBL Sam, presumably from the bathroom. LMAO, bruh, this league is so ass. You're right, Sam. Shout out to Sam. He's not missing any action.
Yeah, there's literally the biggest news we have is that iHart is meeting with the Thunder at some. Is it now? Is it ongoing?
That's the way he phrased it.
Yeah, are set to meet with them.
Thunder are in Eugene, Oregon, set to meet with Isaiah Hartenstein. So, shout out to Isaiah Hartenstein for not waiting on Paul George to do his business.
Yeah. We will see. I don't know. Maybe the Hartenstein thing will get resolved sooner than expected. I don't know. My guess is if he left that meeting and doesn't have a decision, that it's likely he's going to be back with the Knicks.
Yeah, exactly.
We just get a sudden Woj bomb of he's signing with iHart. Yeah.
I'm going to try and track his private plane. See if we can start keeping tabs on that. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I'm also reading the Wendy quote about Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, which is also weird. Oh, buddy. Jesus Christ.
What?
Please read the last comment. I cannot vocalize it. I refuse.
Seems a little harsh.
Yes. Seems like a lot. I don't know, personally. It's also possible I mispronounced this person's last name, and if I offended them, I would like to apologize.
Kenny Mirror says, how many games this year will Hartenstein not close because I don't want to play 5 out? We know Tibbs isn't doing that. Be careful what you sign up to if you are iHart. I don't know. It's weird to me because Chet played all the minutes of the 5. He played, like, I think if you look on, I think Cleaning the Glass has it at 96%, and I think Basketball Reference has it at like 98% that he played at the 5. Now, presumably, I'm not going to pretend like I was crunching OKC tape all year, but I'm sure there were sets where Holmgren is technically being used as the 4 and the other guy is the 5, whatever. I mean, he might still close a bunch. I couldn't speak to that. If you're meeting him in free agency and willing to make a substantial offer, I would assume it's because you envision him being a key part of your team, and I assume that that's something that they would have discussed. I also will say this. The Knicks and OKC have done a lot of business together. All of that becomes very fascinating depending on if or what happens here, with him.
Think they'll break up? They'll stop trading?
I just find it. We'll see.
We'll
see what happens.
That's like they're drafting butt buddy.
That the Clippers are trying to find a trade partner for Russell Westbrook.
Who cares?
Having to get into his $4 million.
Well, to me,
that's
that
an
just
easy
sounds
contract to trade.
That sounds like Paul George is definitely not coming back. Is that what that's what that sounds like to me? Because he was like all aboard them getting Russ. That was like his kind of like push for them to add Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, that's his guy. HB Greg, he says, should Steph demand a trade?
No. And I say no because he's not going to.
Yeah, Steph is too loyal to the
He's there for the
Warriors.
rest of his NBA career.
He's too loyal to the Warriors and to Draymond.
Hello. Yeah, that's true.
So he's not even going to ask for it. He's just going to stay.
Ace Bouchard, when did Sam get back? I don't know.
Just a minute or two ago. My bathroom's in my room, so
yeah,
it's very quick.
Nice.
I'm also going to exercise the bathroom break in my contract.
Now is the perfect time to do it, as there is literally no NBA news worth speaking of right now.
Nope, just a meeting. That's the big news. HB Greg says, should Steph demand a trade? I don't know. If I were him, I would probably just be happy with my career and be like, just keep paying me, and I'll keep being a legend out here, and we're good to go.
Keep breaking.
I mean, should he? I don't know.
Records.
I don't think he should. I don't think he should. I think they've paid him the amount.
He won't. That's the thing.
Well, they've paid him the max ever since like his first extension, which they gave him when he was still kind of like apparently injury prone or whatever. Since then, they've paid him the max as soon as they can pay him. They've won a lot of championships together. I'm not saying they've been a model organization. I don't even think they've necessarily done right by him these last few years. But should he demand a trade? I don't know. It's up to him, really. Like I don't think there'd be anything wrong if he did demand a trade.
And he just won't. Like, I think he's pretty much, because he's had his opportunities to, like, come to the table and like tell the Warriors like, hey, this is what I want done, and they never really improved significantly, at least the roster. So like I think he's pretty comfortable where things are at, or else I think the Warriors would have been way more aggressive. Like you've seen other star players take advantage of their power on their teams, i.e. LeBron, and make shit happen somehow, some way. So yeah, I just don't think that Steph really cares for that at this point. Let's see, what else do we got? Nah, does CJ McCollum really realize how awful of a human being he is?
Him and Grant Williams are not going to heaven. I'll tell you that.
They need to be beat with burlap sacks. Jeez, this is horrible.
There's quite literally nothing happening right now.
This is so brutal. Holy shit.
Like the big. Sorry, go ahead.
Chris Bernhardt, said, if iHart comes back, how many wins do we get? Are we getting 60? If we stay healthy, I don't see how that's not a possibility.
I can't answer this question until I know if Hartenstein's back or not.
He said if iHart comes back.
If iHart comes back, yeah, then I think we are getting 60. If not, I think we're like a 55, 52, 53, something like that.
Yeah.
But the league is weird. I don't know. It's hard. The league is so competitive now. What, the Celtics were the only 60-win team last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the West had 57-win teams. It's like I don't know what to make of it, because then like the bottom of the league is so bad relative to the top, so you get to stack these wins. The Nets and Toronto should still be pretty bad. We don't know what the hell the Sixers are going to be, because we don't know. I mean, if they get Paul George, even if they get Paul George, we don't know what the fucking roster looks like for the rest of it. So
yeah,
it's just kind of, it's hard to know, to project this right now, I would say, is my coward's answer.
Kenny Mayer says, I feel like once one signing happens, we get a few in a row pretty quickly. No one wants those tampering charges. I think it's more contingent on Paul George, honestly. I think a lot of teams, this is a wing heavy sort of, or at least the significant players in free agency are wings. So I feel like Paul George being the biggest wing free agent kind of dictates what other teams start to pivot to. And then that's when we see trades start happening and stuff like that. So I think it's really all contingent on Paul George.
Dude, this is, if I'm the NBA, I would be like, listen, we're getting rid of tampering, because this is stupid.
Bro, this is the biggest part of the league year. Come on. It's actually very stupid. Bro, how long do these motherfuckers serve as how long is the CBA, and how long do these motherfuckers serve as the CBA presidents or whatever it is?
Sorry, say it again.
How long is the CBA for, and how long do these guys stay as president for? Because I am ready for these motherfuckers to get the fuck out.
I have no idea. Man, good thing we chose to do a live stream for this. This is great. Great.
I can't even like do a fun little prediction like I did on draft night.
I know. HB Greg says, when the Clippers signed Kawhi to that deal, they never told Paul George about it. Oh, we already read this one. I found out about it when there's the photo. Their actions over the season and here in free agency indicate they're ready to move on from him. I don't buy this. I don't think they want to move on from him. I think they're just like, this is our line in the sand. So if that fourth year is that important to you, like, cool, go get it. But we're just not going there. So I don't think it's that they're eager to move on from him. I think they're just like, no, we're not doing this thing again.
Shams, tweet like a normal person. Stop including your stupid live stream in every tweet. Oh my god. And yes, we know the Clippers are trying to trade Russell Westbrook. Man, free agency actually used to mean something, man. Remember, someone just tweeted, I remember when helicopters were following Kawhi around LA like he was OJ in 2019, and when DeAndre Jordan was held hostage by the Clippers in his own house in 2015. She used to be fun, man.
This is the worst day of my life.
Bruh. Wow.
Well, this is fun. Yeah. What are you doing for July 4th?
I don't know yet. Probably just be at home with my family.
Oh, we got the Harden contract too. That was the other thing we got in free agency. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nice. You guys gonna grill and shit or what?
Hmm?
You gonna grill?
Grill? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. We usually don't, but maybe this year we will. It's been super hot though. Like, who wants to be outside? Like, this heat wave has been ridiculous these past couple of weeks.
It was this weekend wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. But I mean, here in New Jersey, we got like freaking what, tornado warning or something. So my family actually had plans to go to Pennsylvania during 4th of July weekend, but then I don't know what happened with those plans. But yeah.
Maybe they're banned under the new CBA.
All fun being banned under the CBA. But yeah, what are you gonna do?
I have no plans, so I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe I'll grill or something. That'd be fun, but we'll see. I'm sure whatever I do will be more exciting than this, though. That would be my gut instinct.
Oh, there's fines for tampering in the new CBA, like heavy fines. Because Keith Smith tweeted out the fines for tampering in the new CBA look to have teams, players, and agents all playing by the rules so far. We're over 30 minutes in and no one even reported a free agent changing teams yet. Yo, bro, CJ McCollum and Grant Williams could go to hell, bro.
This is I literally am just staring at my screen like, is there? I feel like I just see the same people tweeting shit, and I'm like, guys, there's actually like nothing to tweet about right now.
Dog, this is insane.
All right, well, hold on the fort. I'm gonna go pee.
All right. So Ish Bouchard, he says so Pacom Daddier. Huh? Yeah, intriguing young French prospect that I jokingly predicted about.
I was there. Kind of. It happened.
Yep. Hopefully, maybe I can jokingly predict that, hey, Paul George will finally fucking sign somewhere so that way everyone can do their shit.
Sham Sharanya says the Nuggets have interest in Russell Westbrook.
Why? That like goes against all of their like.
They traded Reggie Jackson. Remember?
Where'd they trade him to?
The Hornets.
Really?
They sent 4 second-round picks.
Did I miss that trade?
I guess so.
That was on the second round day, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I had my phone off from not my phone off. I had my phone on airplane mode for a lot of
Yeah, some people would call that pulling a Paul George, having your phone on airplane mode.
No, I had my phone on airplane mode because it was about to die and I was out and I was away from home. So I had to put on airplane mode so it wouldn't get all these notifications and kill my battery before I had to get home.
Jake Fisher. Oh, he deleted it. Never mind.
What was the tweet?
I don't know. I didn't get there in time.
Damn, it probably was something that,
Probably something real spicy.
or something that was real incorrect. Now let me stop.
Friend of the pod. He just reaffirmed the Nuggets interest. Thanks, Jake.
Did I miss anything?
The Denver Nuggets are interested in Russell Westbrook.
Why?
That's what I said. I was like, that goes against like all of like what they seem to like be about in terms of like
The league is still in shock that Brad has re-signed Luke Cornett. No one has a counter.
Well then.
dog. And you know what's gonna be funny? The moment that we get off of here, that's when shit is like literally about to go down. So we gotta stay on here as long as possible. Chris Barnard says the Westbrook news is in the same vein as DeAndre Jordan trying to boost those Jokic on-offs. Yep, got to get that. What is that? 4th MVP in 5 years?
Yeah, they made. No, they gotta get Jamal Murray's on us looking good.
Yep, finally get that All-Star appearance. They're gonna force him to play good against bad teams no matter what.
Man, is this what like free agency used to be like? I don't even remember. Must have sucked. I guess this is what like LeBron's free agency was the worst. Nothing happened for like 10 days, other than everybody talking about LeBron. Oh, I heard it's the Bulls. It's the Knicks. He had a great meeting with the Nets. I'm like, all right, but whatever you say.
Bro, Celtics fans are literally obsessed with the Knicks this offseason. You guys just won a championship. I think that you'd have better things to like be doing, like celebrating maybe, instead of talking about what the Knicks are doing 24/7. I don't know if the Knicks won the championship, I wouldn't be thinking about another fucking soul for months.
I definitely have thought about the Celtics a lot less than it seems Celtics fans have been thinking about the Knicks.
Like, bro, every time I go on my timeline, it's about like the Celtics are tweeting about like Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. Like, bro,
they did all this just to give OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure what. Correct. That is, you got it. Like, that's exactly what happened. What point do you think you're making here?
Someone said to Josh Hart, man, offer some of your wife's breast milk or something. I guess to iHart. All right. Shams, the Clippers are looking to trade PJ Tucker. Oh yeah, good luck to them with that.
$11 million he makes.
Yeah, I don't know who's giving up actual like contracts and players for PJ Tucker. Now I really want to know the thought process that went on between CJ McCollum and Grant Williams when they agreed to this thing. Like, I really want to know, like, what were the benefits that they saw in this? Was it the being able to smoke weed? Was that the thing that really kicked it over the top for them? Aside from everything else that fucking sucks in this shit.
Sorry, say it again. I zoned out because I'm so fucking bored by free agency.
I said, what was the thing that enticed CJ McCollum and Grant Williams to agree to the CBA? Was it the smoking, being able to smoke weed? Was that the thing that took it over the top for these guys? Like, is that what was like? Yeah, we'll agree. Thanks.
Pistons, Jazz, Spurs, and Mavericks interested in Tobias Harris.
Who? Repeat those teams.
Pistons, Jazz.
Jazz, Spurs, and Mavericks.
I'll tell you this: I'd rather have Tobias Harris than Jeremy Grant. That's my hot take.
Jeremy Grant's a tank commander.
Jeremy Grant sucks. I don't understand why people have loved him forever. I think it's like the skill set thing.
That's the idea of him. Many people are enamored with the idea of these players instead of what they actually are, or at least the idea of what they can be on their team.
Well, there's this very exciting. Yes, LeBron James plans to return to the Lakers. LeBron James is willing to take less money, maybe upwards of $20 million, so the Lakers can have their full mid-level exception from Woj.
It's a lot of money, and one of their guys that they wanted to get at least was James Harden. That was on that list of players that LeBron would take a pay cut for.
Klay Thompson.
I think they end up with Klay Thompson ultimately. And then they like trade like maybe D'Lo back to the Warriors and like some other player. That would be very funny.
Why are the Nets, Celtics, and 76ers all crying about the Knicks being a championship contender and making illogical rebuttals and theories about how Knicks are not like that? I don't actually understand. What the Nets, whatever. I get it. They have the most invested in us sucking, so good for them. Celtics, they just won a championship. I don't really get that, but hey, more power to you. Seems like they're actually worried about the Knicks now, so maybe that's what it is.
It's real fear.
The 76ers fans crying about it, why do they think they're a champ? Like, if we're not a championship contender, what the fuck are they? They lost to us in the first round, and they haven't been past the second round ever. So,
but Shwin, just wait for healthy Embiid. Just wait till healthy Embiid shows up.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
One of these days. It's gonna happen.
Harrison Wind of Denver Sports. The Russell Westbrook to Denver chatter is very real.
Dog, this is what we're talking about on the day of free agency with players like Paul George and DeMar DeRozan and Klay Thompson available and KCP.
It's very real.
We're talking about fucking Russell Westbrook going to the Denver Nuggets to help improve fucking Jokic's and Jamal Murray's on-off numbers. Oh my gosh. Adam Silver, CJ McCollum, and Grant Williams. Two light skins and a bald guy. Two types of people that are just not good for society.
Andre Drummond. I'm in the mood for a Philly cheesesteak.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
Great. We're going back to the Philadelphia 76ers. Amazing.
Ryan Thomas, or RT, I think it's Ryan Thomas, is his name. He posted this in our Discord. It's bad when ESPN ends NBA Tonight for the Ultimate Fighter an hour after free agency opened.
Adam Silver, what a great job he's doing. I'm sure he's going to be thrilled with these viewing numbers on these shows that he pays for. That.
He decided to move the start of free agency from 12 a.m. Oh, Neemias Queta has agreed on a multi-year deal to stay with the
Who?
Boston Celtics.
One of their fourth
Oh,
string
Neemias
centers.
Queta. Oh
One of their
God,
fourth string
okay.
centers.
I literally thought you said something. I didn't even know what name you said at first. I was like, what?
Yeah, that was my best job at that. Sorry about that.
And the Celtics are just cleaning up in free agency right now.
Yep.
Great. Shams really he's fucking getting the scoops, man.
He's trying to milk the shit out of that live stream right now. He does not want to get off. All right. Shout out to NBA free agency. Neemias Queta.
Neemias Queta, that's the slop we're getting.
Woo! What a league. What a league.
Whatever the Knicks do, I will say this: if the Knicks fucking lost Hartenstein in free agency, whoever they sign, if it's like Goga or something, make sure you make that contract a 3-year deal, pal. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Make sure that happens. This is so disgusting. This is the big bomb we're getting right now.
And the Philadelphia 76ers have agreed to a 2-year, $10 million deal.
Whoop-de-doo.
This is probably
in year
this
2.
This is almost 100% going to be out of the room exception. I can't imagine that they would want to use cap space for this. It doesn't really matter. They can structure this however they structure it, but that would be my guess.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares? I will say, I mean, I guess the argument would be like Nurse is probably way more equipped to get the best out of Drummond than fucking Doc Rivers ever was, but I mean, they did this right for like 2 years? I don't know. It seems
yeah. It's very redundant. It's very redundant.
My actual thinking with this is that like if you have a superstar center, you just need to accept that their backup is going to suck. It's like the one position in basketball where if you have a superstar at it, there's almost no way that your backup that you ever play well.
Actually good.
Well, not just that.
Unless
you
you
ever
draft a good one.
Well, it never happens because if you have a superstar center, then you're never going to play the same as you do when they're on the floor, when they're off of it. And if your team is built around that player, then you're inevitably going to be worse because of it. So, I have always thought like they just can't win the Embiid minutes. And like, if they could ever just figure that out, I'm like, it's not easy. Like that's actually pretty fucking hard. So yeah.
But yeah, what you call it? I guess the Sixers also reacting to the whole rebounds thing. Because they did get killed on the glass in that matchup versus us. So I guess this is a reaction to that, especially when the Embiid was off the court. I mean, I know he didn't really impact rebounds that much, anyways, but like, I guess they're like, hey, we got to secure these boards now.
Yeah.
How does Andre Drummond joining the 76ers affect the Knicks? Let us discuss.
Doesn't really affect the Knicks that much, I don't think.
I don't think it affects anything
at all.
It's Andre Drummond. The last time we saw him on a basketball court, he was untracked in the floor for that alley-oop against us.
True.
That botched alley-oop with Torrey Craig. The Bulls are going to trade Torrey Craig, right?
Yeah. Ryan Blackburn of Mile High Sports. Woj hasn't tweeted for 46 minutes.
Dog, that's nuts.
I would love to see what his tweets are like in like past opening days of free agency.
Judah Ben-Shar. He says, weird call. I've never seen Prez's face, but I always imagine him looking like FBL Sam.
I think you should take that as a compliment, maybe. Perhaps.
I guess. I don't think any of us has seen Prez's face.
I met him in real life, so
Yeah,
Oh.
I've seen him before.
real life as well. He's a handsome gentleman.
He does not look like Sam, for the record.
Okay.
At all.
Unlike Sam.
Yes, I do look like Sam.
Can Shwin confirm it's a compliment? Press has a silky smooth voice. I guess he's saying you have a silky smooth voice, Sam. So congratulations to you.
Okay. I'll take it.
Yep.
Kevin O'Connor
seen it.
says, great addition, a better backup for Embiid. Sixers almost get Drummond at the deadline before the Bulls ask for too much. Here's a Photoshop of Drummond in a Philly jersey. So funny. Good one, Kevin
My
O'Connor.
favorite joke.
Oh, man.
The great Kevin O'Connor.
Oh, man. Andre Drummond news. Like, can we just have more obscure teams signing players? Like, I heard the Bucks fans really love Chris Dunn. Can we get like that next or something? Like,
Where did that come from? Was that a report yesterday or something?
Nah, I don't know, but like Bucks fans are like really enamored by this idea of getting Chris Dunn.
Yeah. That's how, I mean, I know Chris Dunn had like a nice little resurrection in Utah, but if that's your
Big splash.
kind of tough.
Bro, the Bucks are in hell. They are in hell.
They can't make any moves. That's just what it is.
I mean, the reports are like they literally want to move off anybody that's not Dame or Giannis, basically, at this point. Right?
Yeah.
Like I've seen Brooke, Bobby, Pat. I haven't seen anything about Chris Middleton yet, but I imagine when some of these wing signings actually get announced and some of these other trades happen, I guess then we'll see some teams. Maybe some teams will start looking towards the Chris Middletons.
Kelly
The trades
Eichel
are-
of The Athletic. Reggie Bullock, unlikely to return to Houston. Former Knick.
Who cares, man? Oh my
We
God.
do. There's nothing else to talk about.
Oh my God. It's the most boring day of my life.
Yo, I want to put hands on CJ McCollum and Grant Williams. Yo, what did they do to this league? Yo, but they killed this league. Anything that we once knew of it is over. That's it. This league is done, man. We gotta wait till the new CBA in like 7 years for shit to shake, man.
This is
bad for the league. This was one of the best things for the league. Every offseason, fans would look forward to this shit. Like, there's got to be.
It's also not good for my sleep schedule because I'm about to go to bed at 7:11.
I mean, I feel like that's probably good for your sleep schedule.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're like someone that consistently goes to bed at like a later time, then you're gonna wake up in the middle of the night and be confused as fuck.
Yeah. Mike Blue posted, everyone has to play apron shenanigans in order to make moves, so the bigger dominoes have to fall before anyone budges. This is bad economics. The league has to know it too.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. Dude, I can't believe the slop we're getting right now. Jesus. Even like can I just say, I love Hartenstein. I really hope the Knicks bring him back. That being like the biggest news since free agency started is disgusting. That's fucking so sad. That's so sad. I'm sorry. What have you done to my league, Adam Silver,
CJ McCollum,
Grant
and
Williams? Yeah, just utter nonsense.
Put it in hell.
Hey, on this date, 11 years ago, this was a Vogue tweet. Toronto is finalizing an agreement to send Andrea Bargnani to the Knicks for Marcus Camby, Steve Novak, and a 2016 first round pick.
A day in
sources
hell.
Tell why. That's how long ago that was.
Wow.
Sources tell why.
Remember when he was on like the vertical? Remember they tried to make the vertical thing for a little bit? Yahoo Sports.
Yep.
Man, great stuff. Great stuff.
This league is pathetic. Everything that was good about this league it's constantly being taken away from us, man. Bring back tampering.
Yeah. This way we don't have to talk about bullshit for the most part.
Mike Plu asks, where is DeRozan going to end up?
Honestly, if the Sixers are getting Paul George, I have no fucking clue. I really have no idea. Because I just can't see, I don't think Orlando. I don't think any team that has cap space and is good would want him.
Yeah, he doesn't fit. He's an awkward player. He has to go to some bad team.
Yeah, maybe you can go to maybe you can go to maybe the Lakers. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe that'll be one. Didn't they want him a couple years ago? AD and LeBron.
Yeah, I think so. He'd be in Cali again. Get to hang out with Kendrick Lamar a bit more.
By the way, Andre Drummond, another guy that the Bulls did not trade and
lost him for nothing.
Lost for nothing.
Shout out to the Bulls. Just there to be a bad basketball team.
Kevin Porter Jr. has agreed to a 2-year deal with the Los Angeles Clippers.
What?
Is that real?
That's real.
From who?
After 6 weeks of strong play in Greece in April and May, Porter had multiple NBA suitors.
Gross.
And
Gross.
chose the Clippers. Shams Charania.
I mean, it's not that. Not to be, not too surprising. Coming from the team that also signed
Josh Primo.
Yeah.
They have a type. They have a type. Adrian Wojnarowski, 2012 of July. He tweeted out, the Knicks have emerged as frontrunners to land Steve Nash in a sign and trade deal. League sources tell Y Sports.
I wish we would emerge as anything right now. I wish somebody would emerge as anything right now. I'll take anything, man. I'll take anything. Fucking Hartenstein signs the fucking Magic for 5 years, $700 billion.
Yes, then we could just sign Goga and be done with our free agency.
Yeah. Imagine running to sign. Imagine running to sign Kevin Porter Jr. is crazy. I can't believe that.
On the first day of free agency?
Just insane stuff.
Oh, lamp went out.
The lamp went out. Damn.
Yeah, I'm in the dark, guys. Hold up. All right, there we go.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That KP, that's so disgusting. That's such a bad look for the league. This is like one of your signature days, and one of the fucking first contracts we're talking about is Kevin Porter Jr. By the way, got a second-year player option. That's fucking disgusting.
Like what?
That's nuts.
Well, Chris Bernard says, "Damn, they turned off Sam's lights. That's Eric Adams' teacher's salary for you."
Man.
Oh man, Omar says I look like if OG and Mikal had a baby.
That checks out.
I sort of see it.
This guy, I just can't get over this fucking KPJ thing. That's
Yeah, that's insane.
unbelievable. I don't know what to say about that. It's just kind of unbelievable to me.
Should have kept his ass in Greece. The fuck are you doing?
He needed to play 2 months in Greece to get NBA teams back interested in him. That's okay.
Well, at least criminals know they always have a home back in the league.
Jeez.
Shwin, you excited for House of the Dragon tonight?
I am. I would love to have a lot of things happen before that, so that I'm not like constantly worried that I'm about to miss something. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen.
I think the NBA will respect the best show on television right now.
Someone tweeted out KPJ, Josh Primo, and Kai Jones. Clippers different, dog.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
They signed, but Kai Jones just was on drugs or something. I don't know. That's different, man. Let's not. I'm not putting that in. That's not the same thing.
A drug concoction.
Yeah, that's not the same thing. That's hopefully.
Yeah, you can't put a druggie in.
He even
fucking...
talked about it, right? Didn't he say that like the Clippers actually like helped him during his time or some shit like that? I forgot what it was. He said something about that.
But they're not entirely the same. A druggie and a dude who showed his peen inappropriately to women staffers, and this guy who put his paws on a woman as well.
Yeah. Kenny Muir says, what percentage would each of you put on Hartenstein being back?
49.
What'd you say?
69.
I said 49.
Nice. I'll say 65.
Okay.
I think if you don't, you'll probably get some tweet, right? That like, if the immediate tweet isn't like, Isaiah Hartenstein has agreed to X contract with the Thunder, and it's instead like Isaiah Hartenstein has finished his meeting with the OKC Thunder and blah 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 blah, then I think he ends up coming back to the Knicks. That's what I think. But look, I've been wrong about countless things before in my life. So yeah, there we go.
Someone said Josh Primo, Kevin Porter Jr. How many years do you guys think the Clippers will give Miles Bridges? They can complete the trifecta.
Yep. That would be nice.
Wow, a lot of people in the chat aren't as high as we are, at least.
Somebody tweeted Shams and Woj kicking off 2024 NBA free agency, and it's a picture from the presidential debate. It's Trump and Biden. That checks out.
This is terrible. I'm sorry. I know I just keep repeating this, but I honestly cannot believe this right now. Usually you get like
Kevin Porter Jr. isn't even that good. Like, he's not even that good.
He's an idiot. He played like some of the most disgusting basketball we've seen forever.
He's horrible. Clippers are like, hey, we just got this new arena, and we're losing Paul George for nothing, and we're about to trade Russell Westbrook. Here is Kevin Porter Jr., everyone.
Harden probably likes him though. Wasn't that the reporting at the time that Harden was like close with Kevin Porter Jr. back when there was the reports or the rumors of like Harden might go back to Houston?
Of course, Harden's close with Kevin Porter Jr. That fat sleazeball. Oh man, I'm retweeting like every tweet that's slandering the Clippers about signing KPJ.
It's very disgusting.
Bro, there was so many more other options in free agency.
The one you just tweeted is pretty funny. KPG got a weird case. Why is he around?
He definitely does. I will not be nice to James Harden. Fuck out of here. That fat loser.
Okay, here we go. Jeff Zilgit of USA Today says Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is leaving the Denver Nuggets for the Orlando Magic on a 3-year deal.
Okay.
I think that's going to be like 3 years, $75 million.
Okay.
I'm going to say 360. You think 75?
Yeah, because wasn't the reports that he was going to get like 25 mil?
But I'll say this: I think if he left for 360, if I were a Nuggets fan, I would be fucking furious. Like,
why
we can't go to 20 million a year for KCP for a fucking contender. They can't replace him. They cannot. Like, this is what people like. I understand that. I think this is reasonable. I know there are people that like, well, even if we don't re-sign Hartenstein, maybe we can get Goga, and Goga will be as good, or et cetera, et cetera. Which is like fine, but like I think most people would agree, Goga is somebody that you'd be like projecting to be able to step into the role that we already know Hartenstein can do, both as a starter, which he did obviously great last year, and as a bench guy, which he has done great for multiple years. Like the thing that sucks about that is you cannot replace Hartenstein. Like you can't replace the contract. You can't just because you didn't sign Hartenstein doesn't mean you get $16 million in cap space. That doesn't exist. If you're the Nuggets, like, cool. It wasn't prudent to sign KCP, right? Let's just say that's their viewpoint. That number is just too high for him. Who fucking cares? Like you're over the cap. You're not getting that space back, and you're a contender. So like I'll say this: you are not. They are not a contender to me now. I do not think Denver is a contender anymore after this. I genuinely do that. I don't think their bench is fucking ass. Like the only good thing about that team was their starting five. And they're what really you're gonna replace Christian Brown is gonna step in and fucking like Peyton Watson who can't shoot, and it's just stupid to me. I'm sorry. I just totally disagree with you when you're a contender, especially when you have a guy like Nikola Jokic, you don't let guys leave because of money. And this does not do anything for them. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. Absolute joke.
Yeah, I don't know why the Nuggets keep letting like key guys from their championship team just like dip off like that for nothing.
Their ownership is cheap. That's all it is.
Wow, and that's how you lose a championship contender, just like that.
Shout out to the Magic. Shout out to Jeff Zilgit of USA Today.
It's 3 years, 66 million.
6 million.
3 years,
Close
66.
to not going over.
You said 3 years, 66.
Yeah.
We'll see how much of that is fully guaranteed. Either that's ridiculous. You have to match. You have to at least match the contract if you're Denver. And if at that point he says I'm out, then fine. But you have to at least match the contract. I'm sorry, that's crazy. But that's below the $25 million a year that people were talking about for KCP. So interesting.
Yeah.
I also wonder the way they structure this because they have so much cap space. They could structure this as a descending deal, which might make sense to them because they have Franz, who's going to get extended, I would think, this summer, and then they'll give Paolo an extension next summer. So might make sense to do that. By the way,
KCP says, "Fuck all that waiting for Paul George shit. I'm signing, motherfucker."
By the way, this is fucking disgusting. By the way, from Jake Fisher reported this. Kevin Porter Jr.'s 2-year deal with the Clippers has a player option per source and includes a 15% trade kicker.
Dog, what?
Why do you need to give him that? Why do you need to give him that?
Who are you bidding against, first of all? And he's not even good.
Damn. So shout out to Jeff Zilgit, man, for breaking that news. That's awesome.
Yeah, I gave him a personal shout out on the Strickland Twitter account, and he earned it. For saving
That's the highest praise anybody can get, as anybody knows.
It's probably, yeah, hey, hello. Yeah, I would say consensus, great deal for Orlando between the three of us as well as the rest of NBA Twitter.
Yeah, it's just a matter of what they do with the rest of their team now.
I was going to say, what are we missing? Like, what?
Well, there was talk about them possibly getting rid of Wendell Carter Jr. if they're in it for iHart. And then they also have to, like, get someone who can do things on ball, preferably a point guard. We'll see if they get active in the trade market. But, yeah. Jelly Slim says Shwin, they're replacing KCP with Russ. Yeah, that's essentially what they're doing in a way.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. That's wild.
The Nuggets had it all laid out for them to just like continue their championship contention.
I think the biggest thing for them is the only way they can pivot. Like they almost have to trade Michael Porter Jr. into like smaller pieces now. That'd be the only way I could see this happening.
Yeah.
Shwin, will you pull up this comment from Kenny Mayer?
This one?
Can.
Yeah.
KCP getting $22 million a year. Is iHart really topping that? I'm skeptical. Both are similar level players, and KCP plays a more premium position. That's what I think, and that's why I think the Knicks are still in a decent spot to pay iHart. And like this is, I think DJ Azulo, who does work over for KFS, he was talking to somebody, and he had said that he cited the Nick Claxton contract as, hey, look, if Claxton is getting this, shouldn't iHart get the same? And while I understand that logic, I think that what I said and pushed back, I'm not even pushed back, but just how I view it is I think Nick Claxton used the fact that if he walks, Brooklyn loses him for nothing. And because of that, and obviously like they're tanking now, they're rebuilding. So for them, retaining the asset doesn't really even have a cost beyond like what you're paying him. And you're not going to be up against the first apron or second apron or any fucking apron for a while. He could extort them for a premium that I don't think existed in free agency. I am almost positive he was never going to get a 4-year, $96 million contract. I know it's 100, but it's $96 million guaranteed. I don't think that was ever out there for him on the market. I think the max he could have gotten on the market is probably like 482, 83, something like that. And he was able to extort them for a price point well above and beyond what obviously he could have gotten on the market. Now, I think that there's a chance our team would offer Isaiah Hartenstein 4 years, 80, 85 million, whatever. I would like to believe that if the Knicks make all these moves to be able to offer Isaiah Hartenstein his max contract that they can give him, he would take it, given that that would show a level of loyalty to him as a player that no team to date has shown him previously. We'll see. I mean, a lot of this stuff is, we'll see. I mean, there's stuff OKC could do. Maybe they want to give him a 2-year, $60 million deal. How does that compare to 4? Whatever. It's all up in the air. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
3rd-year player option for KCP.
For KCP, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Good for him.
Yeah, Booth, Judah Benchar brings up this quote from Calvin Booth a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that was
indicates that kind of indicates that they already kind of knew that they were not going to retain KCP. It says Braun is one of the best net rating guys in the league. Wow, he brought up net rating. Interesting. As is KCP. If he is to step into that starting lineup, like probably projected, I think we'll be okay if KCP doesn't return.
He also.
So they lost Bruce Brown and they lost KCP in back-to-back years after winning the championship. Yeah, there's I don't know what. I guess they're anticipating like Julian Strawther comes in off the bench now and he can give them something. I know he's a pretty good shooter that they drafted last year. I mean, the Nuggets really are high on the guys that they drafted and being able to put them in roles off the bench, as they did with who was it that this year? Peyton Watson after Bruce Brown left. So they're really high on their young guys being able to step in and kind of fill in these roles that these veterans are leaving. It's yet to be seen.
Booth also had that super suspect quote. I was trying to find it where he was like, contenders have to be able to replace starters or something like that. It's like, what are you talking about?
I mean, I get that in a way, but like if you have the opportunity to still keep these guys, like I can understand if like guys are like, you know what, I'm done with this situation. Like there's no way I'm coming back. Then yeah. But like if it's a situation like this where they can keep KCP, then I don't understand why not doing it but Shwin said the owners are cheap, so that's why. But I don't know. I guess they're anticipating guys like Watson, Braun, and Strawther taking that extra leap and being able to contribute next year. I'm excited to see Strawther because he was one of my favorite guys from last year's draft. So, but yeah.
Costa Matraco says that contenders need to be able to replace fifth starters is the actual quote. Yeah. So then
I guess that shows how much they valued KCP.
Exactly. Yeah.
In reality.
That's a crazy quote.
If he's just a fifth starter.
Me, I'm leaving too.
I mean, that's actually just kind of an insulting thing to say.
Yeah, in general.
All he could have just said, you have to always be able to, pivot or be flexible or whatever. I mean, there's so many better ways to answer whatever the fuck that question was than what he just said. That's an insulting quote, to be honest.
Yeah, that's wow. Okay. Well, I don't blame KCP for leaving. That's for sure.
Well, the player option on the third year is pretty interesting, especially depending on how they structure this. Because if it's a descending deal, he's definitely going to opt out the third year. You would think, unless he falls off a cliff at that point.
Yeah, which could happen, but yeah. Chris Bernhardt says, imagine they let Aaron Gordon go next year. His contract's going to be pretty expensive too. Jokic is one step away from becoming Bob Baffert full time.
That's pretty funny. I would think that maybe they do this because they are going to pay Aaron Gordon, but they just need some of these second round guys they've drafted over the last years to hit. Otherwise, they have no kind of path to being good or contention or however you want to phrase it.
Who did they draft this year?
I don't even remember, to be honest. Oh, they got Deron Holmes, who everybody was like, "Oh my god, I can't."
Timo Nasreed.
Can't believe the league let them get Deron Holmes. They drafted him. They drafted somebody else in the second round. I don't remember who. Kenny Muir says he did the same thing with Bruce Brown, saying Watson is better in a lot of areas. He should probably just shut up. Yeah, he did do that last year, and it was stupid when he said that last year too.
Yeah, I think they're just really banking on these guys that they drafted to really just hit for them now at this point. Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, Julian Strawther.
Denver's offense was better by at least 14 points per 100 possessions with KCP on the court in each of the last 2 regular seasons. Yeah.
Well, I'm just glad the Sixers didn't get KCP.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying I would have been scared by him and Paul George together, but I'm just saying it's better that he's not with Paul George in Philadelphia.
No, yeah, I mean, it doesn't. We don't have to be scared of him and not want him in the division.
Oh, they signed Trey Alexander from Creighton. They also got another Villanova guy over there in Denver, Gillespie.
Yeah. Logan Gillespie.
Collin Gillespie.
Hello.
Yep.
Their roster is very interesting. Zeke Naji hasn't really done shit for them, right?
No, he's terrible. I don't even know why they paid him. Constantine says Magic still have 30 million cap space. We're not out of the woods yet. I don't really care. I imagine it feels like they have bigger fish to fry. That's my reading on this. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I feel like they are more focused on not the center position, but more so the guard and wing positions, just because that's where their downfall was in the playoffs. They needed a lot more creation in those spots, and they just didn't have it. A lot of it was Paolo creating.
Yeah, I have, and we don't know how this deal is structured, so we don't know the exact number they have. But let's say that the Magic, let's just say it's 22 million flex. I don't feel like doing math right now. They would basically just need to move, like, fucking. You could trade Jet Howard, or Anthony Black, or Cole Anthony, or Jonathan Isaac, as we mentioned before, and you again have max space for Paul George, which, like, you know, Windhorst said that they were not going to do anything until they signed Paul George, or unless they heard from Paul George. I wonder if part of getting KCP soon or earlier was like, hey, even if we want to max Paul George, we still have vehicles to do that. And they'll probably end up bringing back Wagner too, in some capacity, to be their backup.
Oh yeah, Mo.
Yeah, Mo Wagner, not Franz, the lesser Wagner.
What else? What other comments do we have here? Connor Pearson Ward says, according to Scooby Robinson, the Clippers are in on Chris Paul. Scooby.
Yeah, I mean, I
Classic
think the Clippers should be, but I also think James did fine last year. From that point of view.
You know those memes of like the people, like the group of people saying something, and then the other guy on the other side doing something stupid or saying something stupid.
Oh, no.
Somebody posted one in our Discord. It was like Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray on one side, and it's like, KCP's pretty good. Let's sign him again. And then it's Calvin Booth on the other side. Get ready to learn Brown season, buddy.
Markieff Morris is vouching for his brother to be signed somewhere.
Great.
Every team needs high-level, proven vets. Can that play? Okay, Yossi Goslin says the Magic have about $28 million left in cap space. But no, he also says that's assuming Pope gets flat $22 million.
What did he say?
$28 million left in cap space for Orlando.
Yeah, assuming they have 22. But
Yeah.
they could structure it so they have like 30 something. They want.
He said they typically structure deals flat or descending.
Orlando does, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just say flat, just because, like, whatever, that kind of gives them the most cap space they would need. So they would basically, if they just moved Isaac, they would have enough to match Paul George, more or less.
And they should.
I mean, if they got the verbal, like, hey, I'll come, sure, yeah, do that. I think if they do that and they non-guaranteed Caleb Houston, they would have 100% enough. I'm almost positive.
Ozzy Mozzie says Hartenstein was willing to take a pay cut to stay with the Clippers. He better do the same for us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember that. that was a thing that he was gonna take a pay cut, but the Clippers were just like, "Hey, leave." So I think he's willing to stay if like he sees a path to winning, and hopefully that's the reason why he comes back to us.
Interesting. Zach Kramer, the Ringer, says the Nuggets ranked 30th in 3-point attempts last season
And I'm gonna
I don't
add
know what was
Russell Westbrook.
and have since lost the players with the third most and fourth most attempts on the team in KCP and Reggie Jackson.
That's funny.
This is from Kenny Mayer. What would even be their starting lineup if Orlando got PG? I mean, look, it would be weird, but you basically could do what? Suggs, KCP, or I guess Suggs. This is what I would guess. Suggs, PG, Franz, Paolo, pick a center, Hartenstein, or not Hartenstein. Sorry, Wendell Carter Jr. And then they could have KCP be like their sixth man. He'd still get a shit ton of minutes, obviously, because they'd be thinned out. But I don't know. I mean, his number isn't like so crazy that being like, hey, we really value, but we're signing Paul George and we really want you to come off the bench for us. Like, I don't think he'd be offended by that. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, he already agreed to the deal.
He's getting paid regardless, so
Yeah, so he could be happy about that.
Whoa, Judah Bencher is about to put some. Let me just wait till he finishes this quote here. But this looks like it's going to be a very interesting quote from Calvin Booth.
I can already see it. It's going to be phenomenal. It's a real fucking banger.
Bruh, there's no way the Nuggets are banking on this player to hit for them.
This is crazy.
All right, let me read this quote from Judah Benchar. He got it from, I think, someone on Twitter. He says, we'll get a chance to evaluate Vlatko Kankar this summer. If Slovenia is able to get out of those qualifiers in Athens, he'll be available to play in the Olympics, and he'll be playing in those qualifiers. Zeke Naji is a young player. He brings energy to the game. He gives effort every night. He's trying to grow into both sides of the ball. I think originally we drafted him to be a 4. He ended up playing a lot of the 5. I don't think it matters as much off the bench, but there are certain matchups where it becomes a little bit more problematic, but he has to get better. He has to be ready for his opportunities when they come. I think he's going to have a good NBA career.
That's so crazy. Talking about fucking Vlatko Chanchar and Zeke Naji.
Stop talking.
Yeah, just shut up.
Bro, the Nuggets are done.
When did he say this? Judo, when did he say this? Do you know?
To the Denver Post 1 month ago.
Good Lord. Oh, my God.
I have to hear his thoughts about Darren Holmes.
God. This is from Bondi. Jordan Bud posted this year. Somebody posted in our Discord just now, too. I will say this. After covering the NBA for a long time, if you're meeting with the team, it means you're not sure yet. Something needs to be sold, which is basically what I think. Like, Kenny kind of made this point earlier where it's like, hey, if KCP's getting this money, getting $22 million a year, are we sure Hartenstein has some huge, massive offers out there for him? Yeah, I mean, like, the way I've always perceived Hartenstein is that while I'm sure all the nerds around the league love him, I feel like just like talent evaluators would be lower on him. There's also concerns about his durability, right? Because he's had this Achilles thing that he's been having to have managed the last couple of years. And if we're going to be real about Hartenstein, who I love, and again, I'm on record saying I think that it's almost, I don't want to say essential, but be a huge boost if he stayed. He had a bad playoffs, man. He had a bad playoffs this year. His 2 series, he got destroyed by Embiid, and I think he was on fumes for some of that Pacers series, and he carried a lot of weight in the regular season. I think people ignore that, but like, he did not have a great series against the Pacers. He was really good in a few games, in a few moments, but he did not have a good series against them. So like, I'm not even saying like he's some playoff dropper or something like that, but he had a bad playoffs. That's something to consider. Like, I don't know that teams are going to look at it. I don't think teams are looking at him and are like, yep, 100%. This guy's guaranteed to be great. I'm sure there's a lot of interest in him, though. He's a really good player, but he's not flawless. You know, there is like a price point, I would imagine, for a lot of teams who are like, I'm not sure about going there, quite there for this guy. The Knicks, obviously, is a little bit different case because it's like, not the, and one, what they're limited to is not, it's not an exorbitant price for him. I think most teams would be like, yeah, if you can keep Isaiah at that price, you do it. But you know, he is effectively like the coup de grace on their offseason in a lot of ways, right? Like he is the final piece of, you know, to sum up the work that Leon Rose has done over 4 years, where if you bring him back, your 9-man rotation is nuts. It's fucking stacked. You have variety. You have everybody's basically entering their prime or in their prime, and you have options and you have
versatility.
Yeah.
Tony Jones.
Sorry,
Denver offered KCP a salary pretty similar to what he ended up getting from Orlando. And I'm told the Nuggets offered 3 years.
So he just wants to get out.
No, I think that what Calvin Booth said is insulting, man. That's insulting.
Dog, what is with these GMs just like killing these relationships with key players of their teams?
Do you remember the shit he said about Michael Porter Jr. last year to KOC? I think he said that shit off the record and then KOC put it in the article. But either way, like saying that stuff is fucking bananas, man.
What'd he say?
He said something like, you can pull it, I'm sure the article should still be up, but he basically was like, he said something like Michael Porter Jr. doesn't play any defense. And I forgot what it was. Fucking crazy, dude. It was like, why are you saying this on the record? Like, why are you saying this to a reporter?
I have it.
Off the record.
I have it. Here it is. It says, I knew you couldn't have two guys that couldn't guard, and we couldn't have two guys that were young and kind of more me guys, Booth told O'Connor. Mike makes $30 million, one of the best shooters in the NBA, so Bones, there's no place for you. And he said something else. I can't find the other quote, though.
It was a crazy thing. I remember.
Oh yeah, he said complimenting Porter's shooting. Booth also got brutally honest about his defense and play style, saying the Nuggets could not have two players like that. It was a very shocking admission from Booth because while his assessment makes sense, it's not common for a team executive to so bluntly describe a current player's deficiencies. Yeah, I think he was talking about like Bones and Michael Porter Jr. And then he was saying
Bones, who cares about? Bones sucks.
Yeah, but I think he was trying to say like you can't have two guys that are just all about themselves that don't play defense.
And just shoot, right? They just shoot.
Yeah.
This Chris Bernard.
See, this is why you don't want your GMs always talking. Like people are begging for Leon Rose to say something. Yeah. It's like, dude, I don't care about what he has to say.
I can just judge Leon Rose on what.
Because like, bro, like, what you call it? Sam Presti was talking about Josh Giddey, like how he was like an integral part of the team, and then he was like, "Hey, see ya." I mean, rightfully so, but like,
yeah. Chris Byrne posted this. We have a special anniversary coming this year, guys. It'll be the 5-year anniversary of Fizdale's firing. Hopefully, there's a game that day so we can all reminisce about it in the Woj tweet. All right. So the only major free agent here off the board so far is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Oh, give us something to talk about for like what, the last 30 minutes or so?
And Harden, I guess, technically, even though Harden clearly was never leaving. So, not surprising.
And we had the KPG BS to talk about as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I also agree. I don't buy that Tony Jones tweet at all. One, I don't buy anything that guy says because he's fucking full of shit. I think that's so convenient to come out right. Oh, look, we totally offered the same thing, man. We even give him a 3rd year. It's all guaranteed. Like, I'm bullshit, man. Give me a break. Like, and also, like, do you know what? You want to know what? He prefers the player option. Every player is always going to prefer a player option. So if you weren't willing to give him a player option, then you didn't match the fucking deal. I'm sorry. Like, if you're the Knicks, if I'm the Knicks, and I don't know what the conversations they've had with Hartenstein are or not, I would be like, look, here's my standing offer to you. We will give you 3 years guaranteed. We will give you a player option on the 4th year. We will give you a 50% trade kicker. That is our offer. If you want it, please take it. We have no issue with that. And by the way, because we've offered you this deal and it has a trade kicker, we cannot trade you this year because we're going to be right up against the second apron. Yo, somebody's mic is fucking going wild right now. Yeah, that's what I assume. That's like if he does resign, that would be the contract because, I mean, it could also just be like they give him a 2+1 player option on the third year if he wants that. I would imagine he'd want to lock in as much guaranteed money as possible and also lock in the ability to, get out on the market if he outperforms it again at what he would be 28 or 29 years old at that time. So another chance to really cash in. He would be 29 at that time if he opted out after 3 years guaranteed.
Retro X, how does the panel feel about the Magic as a threat with the addition of KCP?
I don't know. There's nothing else. They've only done one thing. So
yeah, there's like so much more to be done with a lot of these teams, like trades, sign-in trades. It's
I like
really
it as
hard
an
to
addition.
evaluate teams.
Yeah, I like it as an addition. I'll say that much.
Yeah, to what they already have. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know about like moving the needle necessarily.
Yeah, we got to see what else they do. They're a solid playoff team. They're better than they were before. How much? I mean, I don't know. A lot of teams in the East haven't really done much to really. I mean, no team has really done much in general, but there are some teams that took a step down. Bulls, Heat, Nets all took a significant step down from where they were.
The Denver thing, I can't.
That's hilarious.
It's just funny to me when we have Calvin Booth on the record talking the way that he was, that they would even try and posture it any differently after the fact.
I mean, someone said the CBA is beating the shit out of the Nuggets right now. Dog, everybody will have their time, and it will happen fast now. I'm assuming it's talking about teams like Celtics, Timberwolves, teams that have all these like max contracts and shit like that.
Yeah. I just the second CBA thing is bullshit. This is about money. This is purely about money. That has not this is not like a mechanism that prevented them from. This is, hey, do you want to keep your fucking core, your championship core, healthy, like available? All you got to do is pay the money, and they don't want to pay the money. I don't care what the fuck Tony Jones tweets. I don't buy that for a second. That's exactly the type of tweet you put out after you lose a guy over fucking money or the structure of the deal or whatever it was. And quite frankly, if the Orlando Magic were willing to give him 3 years, $66 million with a player option. If the Nuggets did not match that, they're a fucking joke. That's ridiculous.
Well, from hearing all of Calvin Booth's comments, it really seems like
that's
was
the
case.
Like, this sounds like a PR swing. Let's see. Amir at Blumenfeld on Twitter. I told my nephew Lakers may trade for Klay Thompson, and he started crying. Once they hit that second apron, it hard caps them and really hamstrings their ability to build a championship roster through free agency.
Who said that?
Shout out to Amir at Blumenfeld on Twitter. He told his nephew about the Lakers trading for Klay Thompson, and he was really upset.
That's funny.
I just DM'd it to you.
Oh, man. At least we got like an actual signing to talk about, though. That's good.
Yeah, give us something to talk about for like almost 30 plus minutes.
Yeah, I know that. And that's how, like, we're not asking for a lot.
Yeah, we're just asking for like maybe 2 or 3 at a time.
We milk KCP pause for like
whoa.
Woo!
We didn't do anything of the sort.
Yeah, nobody did that. Nobody did that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, we're just asking for a couple signings here and there. Just give us something to talk about for like 30 minutes or so, an hour.
Yeah.
I thought it was smart of them to jump out on this KCP thing though, because he's the guy that's kind of getting left out behind. So instead of chasing this PG thing and waiting for him to make some fucking decision, you just go out and start shopping on these other guys.
Yeah. It's like, dog, it's been like 2 hours. You guys can like start agreeing to deals now. Like, you don't have to pretend you're still making meetings.
Pretend meeting. That's pretty funny.
Bro, what were these players thinking about? Oh man, we get to smoke weed and we can invest in gambling companies. Yeah, that's totally awesome. Now we get fucked over in the CBA.
Yeah. Dude, what is this fucking quest thing? They keep on my Discord. The quest is available. Fuck that. I don't care about it, man. Get it out of here.
Costa Matracos or Costa. Breaking. Sources say that my wallet and the corner souvlaki spot have come to terms on a deal. Congratulations, Costa. Enjoy your dinner.
Yeah, congratulations on the souvlaki. Too many times typing Darren Waller.
Boys, bury him now.
Yeah. This is. Well, I guess I'll be able to watch.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah, House of the Dragon tonight at 9 p.m. on time, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, because we know the NBA won't be giving us anything else to talk about.
If I know Isaiah Hartenstein, and I know him pretty well,
Really?
I think that he'll come through for us tonight.
Let's hope so. I mean, the thing is, if they agree to signing him, then presumably they would also have a sign and trade worked out. Which maybe this is like what they're finalizing at the moment, so that they can be like, "Hey, we for sure got you your money." By the way, because the numbers came in a little bit lower on the cap and the apron and stuff, I think like if he comes back and they sign him to his max, assuming they send out Precious or something in a sign and trade, I think they would be like fucking like $12,000 or something from the second apron. It'd be so crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I do have to dip out for 10 minutes.
Yep. Go for it. Chris Burns says, "Thank God NHL free agency is at 12 tomorrow because I know everyone signs within 5 minutes." That's how it should be.
Yeah. A league who knows how to do things right.
Yeah, everybody should sign within 5 minutes, and then we should be able to get fucking
hours of content out of it.
Yeah, hours of just discussing and shitting on contracts and praising contracts and shit posting. That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, and now you just got an angry mob, rightfully so, at KPJ getting signed, and you have people saying, "Good job, Magic," and shaking their hands.
Yeah.
Are the Rangers primed to sign anybody?
I don't think they have cap space.
Oh, makes sense when you're a good team.
Yeah, I've seen a lot. I don't know. I don't follow the Rangers close enough to have any knowledgeable assertion of this, but I've seen a lot of Rangers fans talking about you need to blow it up, you need to rebuild again. I'm like, I don't know, man. It seems like maybe you just need to make some tweaks. I don't know. I don't know how that NHL cap works, so I'm just talking out of my ass. Ace Bouchard says, "I wish anything happened." Yeah, I wish something other than this one thing would happen.
Right? Oh my god. People talking about KPJ is good. Okay. And I'm rich. I know Jonte Porter fuming right now. This guy was like, "Yo, I was just on FanDuel, yo." can't get a contract.
This is sad, man. This is just sad.
This league is pathetic. JL says this is Paul George's fault. Fuck him and Paulette and Paul Sr. Bro, the funniest thing is Paul George's parents being named Paulette and Paul Sr.
I legitimately had no idea until just now. Is that real?
Yes, there was a graphic on there was a graphic one time. There was a game where his parents were at the game and it was like Paulette and Paul Sr. Paul George's parents.
That's pretty awesome. That's kind of awesome, to be honest. So he's Paul Jr.
Yeah.
Nice. Good for him. Good for
Paulette
him.
and Paul Sr.
Paulette's
and
really
Paul.
funny.
It's like Sam and Samet. Oh, Connor Pearson Ward says, I'd even take a coach firing at this point. I don't think there's any coaches left to be fired.
There aren't any.
Anyone that's deserved to be fired has been fired.
Can the NBA like do something? This is Professor X. What do you guys think of Mikal Bridges potentially needing one more player for it to write the Mikal Bridges deal? I mean, I assume they knew that. Look, it works as it is. That's not you need to add another player if they want to bring back Hartenstein. That's the key piece. What I think of that is that I'm sure they knew this when they made the deal, so I'm not too worried about it one way or another. Like I'll put it this way: I don't think there's any chance that they're losing Isaiah Hartenstein because of a thing that happened in this Mikal Bridges trade they didn't anticipate. If they lose him, it would be for more money or whatever the fuck. It's not going to be because of that. So my opinion on it is that it is what it is. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean this front office has shown that they've been very calculated and they know like they plan things out pretty carefully, I believe. And like they know like what are the ramifications of certain moves and things that happen. So I think they're very aware of these things. So yeah.
Yeah. Yep. If anybody cares, you can still do super chats, but any contributions would be appreciated. We do need to send. We need to send Tyrese through grad school. So. JL says if Hartenstein leaves, we need to give Mitch that shit Al Horford is on. Steroids? Correct. Yeah, we do need to give him steroids. Although Al Horford was looking a little rough towards a lot for most of this year. He just dialed it up at various points in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's when they really kicked in the supply because they had very limited.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Tyrese thanked us in the Discord, by the way.
Really? I saw. Oh man. Jordan Bob says Donovan Mitchell extension to the Cavs. Thoughts about this rumor? I think it's gonna happen.
It is a little weird it hasn't happened yet, though. I will say that. But they seem to be operating in a way that
aren't they gonna like make some moves around the margins or something at the very least?
I don't know if it matters. Like I don't know if I think he can agree to an extension.
Okay.
I don't think it affects anything they do this year, so it is a little bit weird. But I would assume that it's more or less a done deal. But hey, look, if I was a Cavs fan and it wasn't, I didn't get the like I was doing this with fucking OG. I was like, look, I'm almost positive he's coming back, but I need the Woj tweet. I need that now. actually. So it was a relief when it happened. But like, if I was Cavs fan, I'd probably be freaking out a little bit right now.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, ooh, is he gonna go to Miami for whatever scraps they want to give us?
Yeah. Donovan Mitchell. What is? Yeah, I mean, it's not really a rumor. It's more of a report, right?
Yeah, I think the report was that like they were gonna close in on Kenny Atkinson as coach, and then focus on Donovan Mitchell's extension, and then I guess do whatever else happens.
Yeah. HB Greg says if Bucks suck, does Giannis ask out after the season? Yes, is my guess.
And it will happen because the Bucks will suck.
I don't know, dude. They might get Chris Dunn. You never know. Might get Chris Dunn. Kenny Meir says, does the top 15 player get traded this summer? Seems very unlikely, and I think the Knicks knew, given the extensions they had to give plus restrictive collective bargaining agreement, that they had to use their FRPs first-round picks this summer. I agree with this. I think, and I also think that, I don't even know if it was about we got to use our picks this summer, but I think they knew they had to make a significant addition this summer, whether it involved all their picks, a lot of picks, or whatever. That's why I think they sniffed around Paul George. That's why I think there were cat rumors throughout the back half of the season, and that's why I think they ultimately made the Bridges deal. Ultimately, I think that the Paul George part was just that it became too expensive for them in terms of the pieces that would need to go out in the trade, because they would have had to trade like a real rotation piece at that point, given his 4-year contract near max or all max demands. I don't think they were comfortable with that, especially because they had obviously maybe an inkling or an idea or knowledge or knew that this Mikal Bridges thing was possible. And given his age, he's 7 years younger, that while maybe in the next 2 years you don't get the same championship upside that Paul George gives you, the fact that he's going to be able to play for multiple seasons and presumably for an extended period with your team gives you a longer runway. So that's how I interpret it. Bro, I've had Twitter closed now for like 5 minutes, so that's why I know this shit is lame as fuck.
Dog, nothing is happening.
So last year Elon killed free agency, and this year
the league was like, we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah, we'll do it. We will take care of business.
HB Greg asks, where does Darius Garland go? It's a very good question, actually, because I'm thinking about him and possibly Trae Young being available for trades. Who knows what the Hawks are doing, by the way? I mean, they could be going for a whole fire sale with everybody. So
they don't have their picks, though. They don't have their pick next year, so they can't do a full fire sale. I don't think.
Well, I mean, it depends on what they do. If they do business with the Spurs and get their pick back.
I heard that the Cavs had a pretty hefty offer from the Spurs on the table on draft night that they turned down. So
for real?
I don't think. Yeah, that's what I heard. But I don't think the Cavs. I don't think Garland is going to get moved for draft capital or primarily draft capital. I think they would need to get pieces back in a trade for him that they think can help them win now, or get back pieces that they can reroute to another team that can get them what they want. Which I think that part just fell through on draft night. That's what I think, or that's what I was told they got a big offer that they turned down. I'm assuming the second part, that it's because they couldn't get the win now pieces, rerouting what they got from San Antonio to get those.
Yeah.
Tell me some good news.
We don't have any.
There's nothing.
Literally.
Nothing.
Kenny Meir says, I think Woj and Shams have even lost interest. They were minutes behind on that KCP deal.
Yeah, that was wild. Jeff Zilgit broke the biggest deal free agency so far.
Yeah, they're defeated.
Yeah.
Shams hasn't tweeted about his live stream in like however many minutes.
Yeah. Kenny Mears also says if you want Giannis or AD in 2025, you have to match their nearly $70 million salary. It's going to be very, very difficult to make trades.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of what the Knicks were foreseeing.
Tyler Kolek is getting shots up with Chris Brickley.
As he does.
Was that NBA? Did NBA New York tweet that? That's my guess.
All right. Paul George's agent and Clippers president Lawrence Frank had a conversation a short time ago that resulted in no new movement on a deal and an acknowledgement by both that George is unlikely to return to the Clippers. Thanks, Woj.
Thanks for nothing, Woj. Literally news that we already knew about.
Awesome.
All right, so can we move on? Like, can Paul George pick who he's gonna go to now, so that way we can just?
Bro, I'm telling you, this guy is gonna do like the fucking. He's gonna take a meeting with the Sixers. He's gonna take a meeting with the Magic. He's gonna, I don't know. I feel like he's gonna do both. Yeah, I saw that.
Clippers exit leaves the Sixers as strong frontrunners to land Paul George on a free agent deal. Sources tell ESPN the Sixers contingent is set to meet with George in California tonight. Fun times.
Yeah.
Just an absolute fucking blast.
Bro, I'm telling you, the Paul George deal is going to break when I'm fucking sleeping. I swear. Just like the Mikal Bridges deal broke when I was sleeping.
Go to sleep, Sam. What?
This tweet I'm about to tweet out.
Wow.
Why is this so funny to me?
What's the tweet? I don't know.
Just go to my page.
Wow. I don't really get what the Clippers are doing, by the way.
I don't think the Clippers get what they're doing.
Elaborate, Shwin.
1 second. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Like, so you're not bringing back Paul George, and
you're trading Russell Westbrook, and you're signing KPJ.
Okay, the Clippers have remained steadfast on a 3-year deal, similar to structure of Kawhi Leonard. George is seeking a 4-year deal. Without George, the Clippers are proceeding into free agency armed with a 12.9 MLE and 4.7 biannual.
Great. They're going to be cooking with that.
Really?
Con, I was sleeping, dog. I took a nap. That's why I missed the Bridges deal. I know it happened at like 9:30. Just taking a nap.
The other thing that's stupid about the Clippers, okay,
is their name. Their name is stupid.
They had a deal with the Warriors. The Warriors at least offered, they were willing to make legitimate offers to them. I think I saw a deal or a version of it. Basically, it was like they would be willing to do, Chris Paul's expiring, a pick a pick, Moody or Kuminga or whatever. It wasn't like all the young guys they have together, but different versions. Take that deal. It's just, you lose him for nothing. And now you're trying to sell that you got the fucking mid-level exception. Give me a break, dude. That's crazy. I mean, good for the Sixers. We already talked about their portion of this earlier in the stream, but like, I think that's bananas for the Clippers. And while I'm not particularly enamored with the fucking Sixers plan here, getting a player of Paul George's caliber was obviously essential to that.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like I'm pessimistic that the Warriors ever actually offered Kuminga. Personally.
I mean, I wouldn't need Kuminga. Okay, I can either do nothing and get nothing for him, or I can get something.
Right.
I'd much
That was
rather
the
get
next
something.
question was, are you still as emphatic about it? And yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. Not entirely. As long as there's draft compensation on the table, yeah, it's better than losing him for nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody said that's probably the last push from the Clippers because they know that the Sixers are waiting with a 4-year max. Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's why like anybody that's like, oh, well, they could still match it. They already know that the Sixers are going to offer a max.
And they basically, hey, don't even bother coming to hit us up after you talk to them because this is our fucking stance and it ain't going to change.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think there's anything.
Bro, what is this tweet, dog? Bro, I'm so bored right now, bro. This shit is fucking ridiculous. Yo.
All right, I'm gonna go grab food real quick. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, doke.
This is it. This is when it happens, Sam. This is what we needed.
Shwin's exit.
Yeah, it's going to happen right now.
Oh man, yo, bro, this league, man. Who's the next obscure reporter to break news because Shams and
Yeah, because they're tapped out. What is? I'm about to go. What does it even look like right now?
Shams live stream?
It looks like it's over.
Yo.
I can't with that.
Bro, what is Isaac Okoro doing, dog?
What happened?
Dog, look at his page. Look at what he just tweeted.
Thank you for reminding me.
What?
Oh, what?
Dog, like, what is going on in this league, man?
Oh my god! I'm not even gonna say it. He's definitely hacked, right?
I'm assuming so. Wow.
Okay.
All right, NBA, man. I think with the KCP deal too, it kind of indicates like this guy's pretty comfortable where he's at in his career. He's won some rings, and now he's just collecting these checks and helping out this young team. He's kind of living the life right now, KCP.
I'm literally not mad at it because there's equally likely a chance that he's
All right, we got some extension news.
okay.
Cade Cunningham, 5 years, $226 million max extension.
Absolutely disgusting.
Oof.
He's a bust. I'm good on it.
I wonder how people feel about this because there are a lot of people that someone we had to milk the KCP contract talk.
Yeah,
We had to.
that's what I said earlier.
Yes, that's definitely what you said earlier. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are mixed on Cade, especially on Twitter.
I'm
It's
personally
very interesting because like people are like, "Hey, Cade can be the guy." It's like, and then some people are like, "No, Cade can't." Like, look at his shooting percentages or his splits and whatnot. So yeah.
Yo, Cade Max is crazy.
All right, here we go.
That's crazy.
From the fucking darkness, he emerges.
That's fucking insane. Cade, what has he done? You can like the fucking guy. What has he done? He's done
Yeah.
nothing. He's done nothing.
Yeah,
He's
he hasn't done anything.
Just throw him a
I mean,
fucking
granted,
hat.
the team's been shit, but
Okay, that's great. Just fucking be like, hey, we have a new front office. We really like you. We want to keep you as part of this team long term, but we need to evaluate everything. Well, you don't even need to fucking tell him anything. Dave sucked. He's a restricted free agent. What's going to happen? He's going to get mad about it? Cool. Great. Like, you can still match any offer he gets. You still have every advantage. Like, next summer, you can give him the same fucking contract.
Let's go. Well deserved, Cade. Congratulations. Jesus Christ.
Cade got more money than fucking OG. Are you kidding?
He's getting more money than Brunson will.
Yeah.
All
It's
because
nuts.
he was drafted higher. When do guys start getting paid for how they perform after the fact?
It's nuts.
Fucking ridiculous.
like he ain't even make an all-star team or nothing.
Nothing, bro.
He hasn't sniffed an all-star team. He hasn't been close. He's never even had the like, oh, well, you got to think about him. He's never even had that.
Yeah.
I'm upset.
Wow.
I'm sorry, dude. That movie's crazy. It's insane. And I know it's been rumored for a while. I thought it's stupid since the first time I saw it get reported that they're going to max him. For what? For what? For what? For what? For fucking putting up numbers on the worst team in the NBA?
Russell Westbrook without Kevin Durant ass.
Yeah, I don't know about this Cade thing. That's a lot for a guy that hasn't really done much.
Sam,
You're just paying based on potential.
Anything.
You're basically paying for potential. And that's a lot of money for potential.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
I'm not gonna have anything sensible to say about this because it's fucking ludicrous. There is no reasoning with an insane person. Paul George and the Clippers are moving on from each other. Sources tell ESPN. Enough!
Thanks, ESPN, for the nothing news.
Please leave us alone.
Just breathlessly reporting the same thing over and over and over again.
They're so fucking bored.
Why is he out of breath, Shwin?
I don't know.
Hello? I'm going to start calling him Captain Knee Pads.
That was Tommy Beer that put up the video of Tyler Kolek putting up shots.
Let's go. In the gym, not worried about free agency.
Okay. Number one, yes. Would you rather have Tyler Kolek on his rookie deal or Cade Cunningham on a $226 million extension?
Bruh.
Kolek.
Thank you. The Pistons and Cade Cunningham have had discussions on a contract extension, but no deal is imminent, sources tell ESPN. That's from Bobby Marks.
Somebody's lying.
Holy shit. The Clippers issued a statement. Paul has informed us that he is signing his next contract with another team. Paul is a tremendous talent and elite two-way player. We feel fortunate for the 5 years we spent with him. What? We traded a lot to pair Paul and Kawhi, and in exchange, we had 5 seasons of contention. Even though we're short of our ultimate objective, we appreciate the chances we have with Paul. What?
Bruh.
We negotiated for months with Paul and his representative on a contract that would make sense for both sides, and we were left far apart. The gap was significant. We will miss Paul.
Bro, this is a long-ass statement, yo.
At the same time, I'm not even reading all of it.
I know. I'm reading all of it right now. It's so long.
We're excited by the opportunities we've now been afforded, including greater flexibility. Come on.
Dog, shut up. What is wrong with them? They're so stupid. They're losers.
After you made trades that fucked over your flexibility is ridiculous.
They're such losers. What a pathetic team. They won 3 total playoff series in 5 seasons together. 3 series. The statement is so long, Tyrese. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah, relax.
You missed the actual pause moments, not that reach over there.
Hello. Go back to tweeting about Chris Paul to the San Antonio Spurs. Eric Gordon has agreed to a deal with the Philadelphia 76ers.
And so that means Paul George is going there, right?
Exactly. Holy I cannot believe that statement, dude.
Such a loser statement.
What in the fuck? Someone said, Fat Lever in the Discord, shout out, said that's some Steve Mills shit. So, back to what I was saying. Bobby Marks says that Shams Charania's report is flat out incorrect.
Source Wars. Source Wars.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eric. So that's what Eric Gordon, Andre Drummond, and then what? Paul George to the Sixers.
Yeah.
Basically.
Dude, they're Eric Gordon. Awesome stuff. Eric Gordon and the Sixers. Great contract. Great player. Daryl Morey keeps playing his favorite hits.
Who can I bring back from the Rockets?
That is true. I forgot about that completely.
What, Daryl Morey is continuing to sign former Rockets?
Nostalgia fetish. Yeah.
This statement is so crazy.
It's such a loser statement.
It's not the most ridiculous thing you've ever fucking heard.
Just don't say anything. You don't need to say anything. You could literally just leak out like
it's very Steve Mills
part of it. You could just leak out the CBA portion of it and be done with it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's very Steve Mills.
Red Cats. Oh, man, fuck off with this. 2019 Knicks, he says in response to the Clippers statement.
I mean, not entirely wrong. But yeah,
Los Angeles Clippers have announced that Paul George has decided to sign with another team. We don't need the aggregation. The Philadelphia
they're so bored they have to aggregate every single thing they can so they can milk the shit out of it.
Wait for it. The Philadelphia 76ers are expected. Oh, you don't fucking say, buddy. Chris Paul to the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, wow. It happened.
Oh.
There we go.
There's Wemby's playmaker.
I'll fucking take it. Where's Tyrese?
Probably like screaming in his room.
Yeah.
Does he
And
hates Chris
excitement.
Paul, right? Doesn't
No,
he
he
hate Chris Paul?
loves Chris Paul.
He loves Chris Paul. He's looking at it. He's like, let's hoe in the comments.
Yeah.
Of course, he hates Chris Paul. Makes sense.
Yeah. Tyrese is ordering fucking Jergens on DoorDash. Let's go. CP.
Paul George just announced you signing with Philadelphia so that way everyone can just start signing. I think everyone's going to start signing now because I think it's indicating that Paul George is going to Philadelphia. So.
1 year minimum for Eric Gordon.
Cool.
The Philadelphia 76ers are the favorites to win the Marcus Morris Senior Sweepstakes per Bovada. I didn't know there were Marcus Morris Senior Sweepstakes.
There aren't. They just keep using this sweepstakes thing, I think, to get aggregated and go viral.
Makes sense. All right, so Chris Paul to the Spurs, and all right, we got some more news coming in. This is nice. Those Wemby props about to be looking juicy next year.
Hello.
Chris Paul assists, Wemby points, Wemby rebounds, Wemby threes, Wemby blocks. And Chris Paul don't got to worry about contending. He could just chill on a bad team for the year.
That's great for him.
Guess he gave up on wanting a ring. Guess he got over that ring, that finals addiction. Remember, he was so addicted to being in the finals.
Yep.
After one appearance. So glad to see him get clean so fast.
Zach in the Discord says, I wonder if Kawhi becomes available. I'm pretty confident Kawhi is going to retire in Los Angeles.
He's going to retire this year.
No. He's got 153 million reasons not to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody retires from $150 million, dude.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Unless his body just completely breaks down to the point where he's like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit.
You still want to retire. You do it like you just, okay, my body's broken down. I'm still being paid, not retiring. That's what Blake Griffin did.
True. And now he's officially retired.
I also selfishly hope that they paid Chris Paul.
Paid him what?
Like money and not like some kind of minimum deal.
It's probably a minimum deal.
Well, he probably got some money.
Probably got like $5 million, maybe.
I mean, they have so much money, and they don't really.
Yeah.
And they're not in the running for anyone serious.
I don't think they want to pay him.
Mitchell Robinson on Snapchat.
What the hell?
Evergreen tweet. Let's see what happens the next few days. Okay. Thank you, Mitch.
Oh, shit, we got
Awesome stuff.
deer running outside.
HB Short says, so like, why are the Sixers hell bent on being old as shit outside Maxey and the rookies? Is it just more wanting all his old Rockets scouting reports? I think it's just this is who they're like inclined to sign at this point. Like, this is who they can afford.
I'm also not appreciative of everyone already ruling out the Magic. Teams with cap space to sign.
Bro, it would be so funny if the Magic just swooped in and got Paul George and just left the Sixers like.
I mean, isn't most of the reporting that it's almost done?
He's
though?
meeting with the Sixers, yeah, basically. He's meeting with the Sixers tonight to make his decision.
We'll see. It would be interesting to see if he didn't finalize it right after the meeting.
I guess this is good for Castle too on the Spurs in terms of Chris Paul. SJ brings it up on Twitter. I didn't even think about this point, but she says, Chris Paul about to get Wemby the easiest looks ever. Also love him mentoring Castle if he's really serious about developing as a point guard. Great move by the Spurs. I like young teams getting useful vets to help their players develop. Yeah, I mean, what you call it? Castle, I think a lot of people didn't think he was really a point guard coming into this draft class. And there was mention of him wanting to be a point guard more so. So I guess having Chris Paul as your mentor is a really good start to your career, I would say.
More news, please.
Chris Paul and Popovich finally united.
Did somebody actually tweet that?
No, someone just tweeted a picture of them together, though.
I felt like Woj tweeted that. I was like, I'm about to go to his house. I swear to God. Derek Hill just hit his second home run. I don't know if you got that or if that's.
I saw that shit. It's like, bruh, it's not the motherfuckers I bet on. I don't care, man.
Yeah. I thought maybe you might have for whatever reason.
Nope, I did not. Because I don't even know who the hell Derek Hill is.
Dwight Howard on CP3 with the Spurs. Wemby gonna win the scoring title.
I mean, yeah, he's gonna get a ton more easy looks. I guess that kills the trade to the Spurs dream now too. But imagine if this was prime CP3 with Wemby though.
Stupid. Absolutely stupid.
That'll be very fun for Wemby.
I think it still will be. I think he's got more in the tank than it looked like last year.
So the Clippers package to get Paul George in 2019. First round pick, 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 first round swap. First round swap, future MVP candidate in SGA. He only made it past the second round once in the Paul George era. Paul George era. There are some Clippers fans that are like happy with like losing Paul George for nothing, but I'm just like, yo, don't you want like to at least get something back for the asset for your team to like team building wise?
Are we talking about the Paul George thing?
Yeah, because like I have some Clippers mutuals that like absolutely hated Paul George this year, and we're just happy to have him gone. It's like they are. It seems like they aren't bothered by the fact that they aren't gonna get anything for Paul George. And to me as a fan, I would kind of be pissed because it's like, can we get at least like in terms of like team building, you want at least something back for the asset. You don't want to just lose him for nothing.
Well, I think it's stupid. Like, again, they could have done the Warriors trade and gotten something for him.
Yeah, I think a lot of their fans wanted that as well, but once that didn't come through, they were just like, whatever, he's gone. So
yeah, I don't know.
A lot of those fans just really hated Paul George and really wanted him gone.
What is his max? Do we know?
Paul George's max? I'm not
1
sure.
year, $11 million. for Chris Paul.
That's good.
Oh.
That's fine. He's happy. They're happy. He gets like $13 million basically because he's got $2 million from the Warriors on the partial guarantee.
Okay.
I wonder what the Cavs are going to do. They haven't done anything yet, right?
Cavs.
When nobody's done anything yet.
Yeah, that is very interesting that they haven't done anything yet. News is like slowly trickling out as like Paul George Okay, Valanciunas just signed with the Wizards.
Yeah, Jake Fisher actually had that earlier.
Yeah.
That the Wizards were interested.
Giannis Valanciunas 3 years, $30 million with the Wizards.
Trade bait.
It's also fine. They have a Sar, right? But he's not ready to play center. So
Yeah, he doesn't want to play center.
he's in the Porzingis phase right now, where he's like,
Yes.
no, I don't want to play. And it's like, yeah, dude, fine, yeah, you're definitely never going to play center. We got it, yeah. Don't worry.
That late career awakening will do it.
That's honestly pretty good value.
I mean, the Wizards, they have just like so many centers though. It's like Sar, Valanciunas. They signed Rashawn Holmes earlier.
They will get picks, plural, for Valanciunas at the trade deadline.
They signed Rashawn Holmes. And I forgot, didn't they have someone else on their center as someone else on their roster as a center?
Did they? Gafford? They had Gafford.
Oh, he's in Dallas.
But they traded him for Holmes, who they just re-signed earlier.
I actually kind of like that Holmes re-signing because it was clearly just about like keeping his money on the books for a potential trade.
Yeah. I'm interested in what they do with Tyus.
Rashawn Holmes will probably go to the Clippers.
Or Brogdon too. Because they have Brogdon. I feel like Brogdon's like someone they're just probably gonna buy out, maybe. But they might want to get something back
probably
for
going to
him.
go to the Clippers, right? Rashawn Holmes.
Why?
What?
Doesn't he have a domestic violence charge?
All right.
I have no idea.
I'm not even kidding. That's why he wasn't in Sacramento anymore.
Oh.
I think he was acquitted or those charges got dropped. I don't remember which. So should probably.
Yeah, he is suing the newspaper for defamation. Forgive me, Rashawn Holmes. Anyways, this Jonas Valanciunas guy, man, good deal.
I kind of like it. I think it's fine. He's still like he's always going to be able to do what he does.
Yeah. Where is he? What's his nationality? Lithuanian?
Yes.
He's Lithuanian. Yeah.
Yeah. He's built to last.
I know there are some fans that are interested in Valanciunas potentially coming here, weirdly enough, if we didn't get Hartenstein.
He's not Hartenstein, but he's a floor spacer who rebounds like a mother.
Floor spacer?
He hits threes.
So did Hartenstein before he came here.
All right. As if those are even remotely the same thing.
They kind of are.
I need to go wash my hands, unfortunately. Be back in a minute. And I'll actually be on camera again.
The Wizards bring a veteran center to a young rebuilding roster in DC. All right, man.
Okay, fair enough. I concede. He hit 37 threes last year.
Yeah, he barely took them, too.
I don't know why I thought he was like that.
Nope, he is not. Or else he would have been someone that you saw on a parlay of mine for threes. But he didn't. But yeah, he's not a real floor spacer. He's bad defensively. Like, so bad. He was so bad, like the Pelicans had to play like Larry Nance at the 5 during the playoffs.
That's right.
But hey, he's going to a losing team, so it's interesting. He and James Harden were two names listed along with
for the Lakers.
Along with Klay Thompson for the Lakers. And it looks like it will be Klay Thompson to the Lakers. That's my prediction now. Klay Thompson to the Lakers, Paul George to the Sixers, DeRozan to
The Knicks on a minimum.
to the Clippers, maybe. DeRozan to the Clippers.
Yeah. He's a California kid.
And Tobias Harris to the Mavericks. Those are my predictions right now.
I don't hate them.
And as we know with my predictions,
They're always right.
sometimes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with these moves. I mean, it seems like more and more players are signing as the news gets closer to Paul George potentially going to the 76ers. So hey, at least we got a thing.
We got multiple things. We don't have to milk anybody. We got enough to talk about.
Yeah, we definitely got enough moves to talk about.
Is so that Mitch Snapchat thing is the
Yeah.
assumption of that he's insinuating he's being shopped or something?
Yes.
I have I just thought it was Mitch just being Mitch and just talking about like free agency or whatever.
The truth is
Like
probably in the
potential
middle.
moves.
All I would say is that if they were shopping him, objectively, the funniest place for him to go would be
The Wizards.
no, it'd be Detroit because they can't shoot, and he'd probably set the like NBA record for offensive rebounds if he stayed healthy for a season.
Oh yeah, for sure. With all the bricks
Detroit,
that Detroit puts up.
It would be amazing.
Oh yeah, Shwin, I gave my predictions of free agents of where I think they will be headed. Now that we're starting to get a little bit more news.
Go on.
So I said Paul George, of course, to the Sixers. I think Klay Thompson goes to the Lakers. I think Tobias Harris goes to the Mavs, and I think DeMar DeRozan goes to the Clippers.
DeMar DeRozan, the Clippers. DeMar DeRozan, Clippers they have the full mid level, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Yeah. Well, good luck to them.
Yeah, just the way things are shaking out, because the names that were mentioned in that Lakers piece about like who would LeBron would take a pay cut for, two of them already gone off the board, Giannis and Harden. Klay Thompson's the last guy that seems like they're interested in. I assume that they would make some
level, then they could also just get DeRozan, right?
the Lakers.
Yeah, and that's somebody
That doesn't fit their type of bill of player that they're looking for.
they've
like,
been
right-
very
Like
Madden-
right here,
for a while.
Lakers and Blazers have been in talks on a deal for Jeremy Grant. Like they've been linked to guys
Yeah.
like Jeremy Grant and Kuzma and like a bunch of shooters like Klay Thompson and other guys. So
Who's the source, Sam,
what? Of
on the
this week?
Jeremy Grant report?
Anthony Irwin, LA.
That's a negative, Ghost Rider.
I don't
But I
think
hear
Sam
you.
understands that reference.
Wait, what?
But I hear you. I just if Klay goes to the Mavericks, I think that they will naturally pivot to DeMar DeRozan.
That's an awful pivot.
Who's pivoting to DeMar DeRozan? The fucking
Lakers.
Warriors? The
You
Lakers?
said the Lakers.
Good luck to them.
I mean, after what they just saw with Westbrook and spacing, I mean, I know DeMar DeRozan's not as terrible of a basketball player as Russell Westbrook is, but like the Lakers seem like they're emphasizing spacing a lot, and especially with JJ Redick as coach, it just seems more so that they would go as far away as possible from a DeMar DeRozan. I mean, he's been linked to them in the past, but like this is a new coach, and I mean, just even based on their draft pick of Dalton Connect, it looks like they're just looking for more spacing.
Yeah.
So I assume it's going to be Klay Thompson or bust, and then they just look for things on the trade market at this point.
I think they could
Like
just trade
Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, I think they could do Jeremy Grant. I don't know what the hell they're going to give up. I don't even know what the hell the Blazers want.
Probably like Vanderbilt. I don't think the Blazers will want Cam Reddish back.
Well, I think the Blazers would want a pick,
Yeah.
and I don't know the Lakers are going to give a pick.
The Blazers are very interesting. Like it's like Jeremy Grant, Are they going to trade Simons? Are they going to trade Ayton because they just took – who did they just take in the draft? It was Klingon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a weird team. Very odd team. But yeah, still no severe needle moving moves so far. Just some cool little free agent signings here and there, but it's good
Paul
things
George,
to
Paul
talk
George
about.
going to the Sixers is a big move.
Well, it hasn't officially happened yet, but yeah, you're right.
I mean, that's definitely a big move. But yeah, I mean, it hasn't officially happened. But if that is
Can
real,
it just
then
be done? I'm begging here.
what?
I'm just begging for Paul George to just. It's 5:52 in California. What are we waiting on?
He's probably meeting with them. Then I still think he might meet with the Magic after that, just to meet with them.
Yeah, they can still pull it off. HV Greg says NBA rumors. Warriors felt close to Paul George trade. Steph Curry signed off. Of course, Steph Curry signed off. It's a chance to improve your roster. Your team hasn't really been serious about improving their roster in quite some time. Current Pelicans big men: Zion Williamson, Yves Missy, Jeremiah Robinson Earl. I wonder who they go after, because it's like there was rumors about them possibly going after Wendell Carter Jr. if the Magic go after Isaiah Hartenstein. So
who was Yves missing out? Like, what was this tweet about?
the current Pelicans big men: Zion Williamson, Yves Missy, and Jeremiah Robinson Earl.
Yeah, they got to be up to something. I don't know what they're up to, but there's no way they're going into the season with that as their bigs.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I know they were interested in Wendell Carter Jr. based on the fact that there was talks about if the Orlando Magic go after Isaiah Hartenstein, then Wendell Carter Jr. might be on the block, and the Pelicans would be interested in that. But yeah, other than that, I really don't know who else they would be going after, to be honest.
Yeah. They just don't. I mean, they need a big, obviously. I don't know what the hell I just don't know what they're doing. I mean, I know what they're doing. They're trying to reshuffle things around. They need to move Ingram, but they need to get like specific pieces around Zion. So it's not like they can just move Ingram for whatever the fuck and move on. They're not rebuilding. So it's kind of tricky for them.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's that possible trade of him to the Kings for, Herder and Barnes. That adds some floor spacers around Zion as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Slop is this is kind of weird. There's HP Greg's posting this in here. George's opt-out decision came after very serious negotiations among the Warriors, George, and the Clippers all the way through Saturday afternoon's deadline for George's contract decision, and after the Warriors believed several times they were on the verge of landing a 34-year-old small forward, team sources said. Kawakami wrote, George gave strong indications he wanted to join the Warriors and Golden State. Veterans Steph Curry and Draymond Green were 100% on board with the move, but financial concerns weighed heavily on the Clippers side. I don't understand this. Like, you were getting Chris Paul, who's on a fucking expiring. Like, your considerations were done after this season. You could just fucking let him expire and move on with your life. I don't get this. And I honestly don't even give a fuck. I think it's bullshit. Like, you've got to get what you can get at that point and move on. And like, once you've decided to move on from Paul George, it really shouldn't matter that Golden State's in your division. It really shouldn't. You should get what you can.
Yeah, it's like you gotta get what you can for the asset. Someone said Paul George is going to announce his signing on his podcast. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's gonna do a live stream podcast of his own decision. That's very Paul George. Oh my gosh.
All right, I'm taking this down. I don't think we need to see this anymore. Not for a little while, anyway.
Oh yeah.
So that's good. Where did you guys think Tobias Harris is going to go? What was your prediction for that?
I said the Mavs.
I feel like he could be a Celtic. I could see him just signing there on a minimum, just to be like, fuck this, fuck the Sixers.
That would be hilarious.
It'd be pretty funny. Sam, this from Jordan Bubba. Sam, better question. Who wants Ayton?
I really don't know. I don't think anybody would want him. The Blazers probably have to attach something with him to get rid of him if they really want to. Because I don't understand drafting Klingon and keeping Ayton.
Yep. All right. I think we can wrap this up for now. Throne's about to come on, and if Hartenstein resigns or goes somewhere else or whatever, we can jump back on here and do a live stream of some kind.
Yeah.
I'm game.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody that rocked with us in the chat. Thank you to everybody who dropped us a super chat. Much appreciated. Aside from that, I don't think we got anything right now. No Knicks related news has occurred directly in the last 4 hours now. So, all right. Again, thank you to everybody that was in here. We will, we will see you whenever we see you. I'm not sure when the next pod is going to come out. I got to talk to Stacy, figure that out. Maybe tomorrow night we'll drop one, but yeah. All right. I'm out of here. Collin, good talking to you. Sam, good talking to you. Everybody else, nice to see you in here. And we will catch you soon. Peace.
Later, players.
Adios.